changed or rankings changed much in college football. I know USC had to have dropped.
Oh, for sure.
24th now. James Madison's now ranked. That's intriguing.
JMU, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
And Florida State received 3 votes to be number 1.
They are looking pretty good.
Anyway, how was your Monday? Oh, they're not better than Michigan or Georgia.
It was weird. Like, I woke up this morning and I was like fucking sore, but it's probably because I actually did, some physical activity over the last few days. I actually started working out again.
That's good.
Yeah. Lost 13 pounds in 2 weeks.
Damn. The hell are you doing?
Keto. It goes really quickly for me. Like the last time I did it, I lost 40 pounds in 66 days.
Man, I need to do keto diet.
It's I'll tell you what, as weird as it sounds, because you're eating so much fat. That's literally it's 75% fat, 20% protein, 5% carbs. So like dinner is like a burger, a fried egg, bacon, a bed of lettuce, and 8 ounces of broccoli covered in butter. It's not too hard. You can have all the hot sauce, mustard, whatever you want. I get like specialty chocolate that's made for it. So like if I ever need something sweet, I don't go away from anything other than like a dark chocolate almond or something.
Did you get it from a program or something?
No, I actually I did it like God, it had to be at least 5-6 years ago. And that was like before it really got like popular. So there weren't like many products, but I read a book on it and then decided to do it with one of my roommates.
Huh.
And
I'm looking it up, but I don't know. I don't know how to even get it started.
The website that I suggest is a website called Ruled RULED.me. ME.
Okay.
There's a calculator for your macros and shit like that. So, and I just track everything I eat and drink.
Yeah, I've been doing that on a different app on my phone. But
yeah, I use an app called Lose It with an exclamation point.
Mine is something. Hold on, my fitness tracker.
Oh yeah, I know that one as well.
Happy birthday, Darlene. I'm just gonna say it here for you.
Tea? What do I need tea for? I generally drink tea before bed.
But yeah, I'm working on losing weight too. I've lost a little bit of pounds, but not too much yet. But it's slow. It's hard, man. Psoriatic arthritis makes it so I just can't do as much exercising as I want. My knee just goes by after about 20 minutes.
Oh yeah, that's tough. Cracky today. I don't know. It is cold here.
Yeah, it's cold, but it's about to get way too freaking hot. It's supposed to be 80 on Friday, and I'm beyond unhappy.
I don't think it's going to get anywhere close to that here.
Did you eat it? You can call it protein.
Technically, it is. It's like, crickets. High protein.
Yeah, just skin it.
It'll get to 68 here.
Yeah, fuck yourself.
It's like it might be. It probably isn't even 40 degrees out tonight.
We have a frost warning tonight, but it's supposed to hit 70 tomorrow and then 77 the next 2 days and then 80. And I was like, this is terrible. I assume it's the hurricane over off the coast near Bermuda that's making some weird random hard left turn at the current moment in time that I don't understand how it works, because it went up and they were like, it's going to miss the U.S. So it turned real hard east. And now it's actually to the east of Bermuda, but now it's turning almost to a 90-degree left and just going cross Bermuda and they don't have a path projected for after that. And I'm like, what is happening?
Yeah.
Assume it's just bringing warm air because I don't know where this warm air came from.
Maybe they're just drawing it on the map like Trump, you know?
Yeah, no, I'm so unhappy because I'm one of those cold weather always people. So
I'm very much a fall weather person. Like I love like the fall weather.
Yeah, I like the good deep fall, like that 50 to 60s where it's just nice and crisp.
Today outside was gorgeous. Like I went out, like did our shopping, like our grocery shopping and whatnot, and it was like 50, maybe 52, 53 degrees. I'm like in a hoodie, sweatpants, and flip flops. It's perfect.
Yeah, I wish it would stay this way. I love it because I don't know what's wrong with me. I was born with nerve problems, I guess. I can't feel my shins. Like I can smack them, punch them, never can feel them. So I wear shorts even if it's snowing because I'll put on my boots, and I know it looks dumb with a nice pair of long warm socks.
Yeah, then you just look like a typical Canadian around here.
Yeah, just to keep my feet warm. But then I can't feel my shins, so I just wear shorts because I don't give a shit if it gets cold because I don't know. So I just love it. I love wearing shorts, so I love the cold. And hoodie weather, man, there's nothing better when it's just nice and cold enough to walk around in a hoodie.
Where you're not going to get hot from the hoodie. It's perfect.
Yeah, but you're not still freezing because, like, I hate when I'm in a hoodie and I'm like, oh, it's still too cold. I got to put my Carhartt on. Like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah. And then, it starts to get towards that winter, so it's like layering weather, so like you can regulate your temperature. Yeah.
Spent the whole day at Gettysburg today, so Mew is real upset because I wasn't home. So he is just sitting in every room I've been in since I've gotten home. Gonna be 78 tomorrow. The fucking Wisconsin. Yeah, see?
Yeah, and yes.
So the heat wave's coming from you guys, not the coast. Got it. Anyway, NBA starts soon. I don't know when. Tomorrow? Wednesday? I don't know. Real soon. There's a really long commercial on ESPN right now about it, but they have not shown a date. They're just showing everybody dunking a freaking basketball.
It starts tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Oh, well then. Oh, it said begins Wednesday for ESPN NBA. Okay. Then no one should care. Because no offense to every other sport, but tomorrow is Frozen Frenzy on ESPN.
All 32 teams.
Yep. Every single NHL team is playing tomorrow, so they will have a red zone version of hockey tomorrow, and we should all watch that.
Yeah. I have some games picked out I definitely want to see.
Yeah. Hockey, I could watch hockey any day, so it's not on a lot.
I don't even care who's playing.
Yeah, like if I watch Masson, I can watch the Caps, but I don't get very many hockey options here. So unless I get ESPN Plus, which I try not to give money to Disney. So like I get kind of bored of watching the Caps because I only really watch Tom Wilson and Ovechkin. But
what I love about hockey is like the story you read. The Bruins got another win, but they sat DeBrusk because he was late to a team meeting.
Yeah.
They still hold athletes accountable.
Yeah. Still a goddamn good team, too. I don't know. I expected them to actually take a downturn this year after losing Krejci and Bergeron. I was like, it might be a hard season. It's early, though. I mean, you could easily see it start to fade, but Pasta's on fire already, so that helps.
Yeah, it's always good when you have an MVP caliber guy, right?
Yeah. But and then having a great defender like McAvoy behind it is just wonderful.
You hate it because a homeless man tried to put his hand in the car at the festival. Is that a dude who was drunk tried to get in a car with my friend Cassie? Like open the door.
Yeah, I had a real weird experience as a kid going to a Orioles game, but never going to make me hate the sport. It's not the sport's fault.
See, my favorite part is that, like, in February, I'll be going to the Boston Bruins rink, and I sit in the Boston Bruins end, with all my Kings gear on front row. So they really hate me. And then I stand up every time the Kings come down the ice. So then they get really pissed off. And somebody said something to me last year. A guy was trying to be a tough guy. I said, what? He was like, you don't have to stand up for every play. I said, well, you could have bought the front row tickets, but you don't have them now, do you?
Lex, humans should scare you in general, not specific types. Humans in general are bad.
Yeah, that's why I don't really leave my house.
Yeah, I just don't like interacting with anyone human. Like, I'm like, deal with my animals.
Yes, hi, Kiwi.
Yeah. Hi, Kiwi. Hope you're all right. By the way, Kiwi's older than us now. We've officially determined this, that she actually is ancient, as this is like the second time in a few months she has fallen over and wiped herself out like an old person. So I'm glad she's okay-ish, but I've got to give her shit when I can, and I haven't been on Xbox in a couple days, so.
I mean, I recently crested 36, so I'm officially 14 years from my passing.
But all right, so I said it earlier. For those who didn't see it, college football rankings. James Madison's now 25th. USC fell to 24. Not really any other changes.
Alabama moving up was surprising to me. I thought they might move up the one spot, but to jump Penn State.
Oh, I guess because Penn State's lost to Ohio State, I guess is why.
But like, that's Ohio State, and it was a one-score game. Like,
and it was at Ohio State, so I agree with you.
I don't know why they jumped Penn State. I would have had them ranked down one.
Yeah, I would stay 10. Oh, don't be angry. It's Game 7. There's nothing better than Game 7. Your Phillies just did what the Titans general manager did a couple years ago and let us see something amazing. He let us see A.J. Brown at his peak, because we know A.J. Brown would have never looked this good with Ryan Tannehill. So at least we get to see him now at like a peak amazing level. It's all thanks to the Titans. And your Phillies just gave us Game 7.
Oh, and the Titans just traded Byard
to the fucking Eagles. What is happening?
Yeah.
How does Howie Roseman continue to fleece the Titans?
It was probably his price tag, to be honest. I think it was like $6.4 million.
I guess, but he's one of the best safeties in the league, and you just gave
him
to the
Eagles. That was what was crazy. I was like, you're going to get rid of him for like a 6th, a 4th, and one player?
Yeah, Tremaine Edmonds. Or no, not even Tremaine Edmonds. Terrell Edmonds.
Yeah.
The dude's like 29 years old, and he's never been a starting safety.
Maybe they're packing it in. Maybe they're going to sell King Henry to the old Dallas Cowboys, you know?
I am really excited. For you guys who don't know, the trade deadline's on Halloween next Tuesday, so we are doing a prediction.
Oh, well, them fucking kids ain't getting any candy then. It's funny, we live like right next to a college, and we're like on like a very like in-town street, and we might get like 2 trick-or-treaters a year. It's crazy.
I actually haven't lived here yet for Halloween, so I don't know what to expect. There's kids straight across the hall from us, so I guess.
I always get candy, and then I have to be careful because then there's candy in the house, and I'm like, I gotta eat that. No, you don't.
I've been real good since I started my diet, so I'm actually thankful that I know that there is stuff in this house like cookies and shit. I'm not eating them. I'm doing a good job. The app helps, because if I didn't have the app, I'd be like, no one will know. I'll just eat a couple. But the app, since I actually, every time I eat, I track what I eat. So I'm at least honest with it.
It's funny. I do, I set reminders. So my phone sends me reminders. So I get a 2 p.m. reminder every day. It says, drink more water. You had enough food today, fatty. Drink water when you're hungry. And then I have another one, I think at like 5 p.m.
Turn my lights out. Boogie.
Because Meg one time told me that I have a pudding face, but like pudding, you know? And so I put get rid of pudding face, and it's like a 5 o'clock reminder every day. I found that strategy. There was 2 chefs. One was like 400 pounds and one was like normal weight, and they were best friends. And the one guy wanted motivation to like lose weight. So like his friend would text him every morning at 6 o'clock, like, get out of bed, you fat fuck. We're going to the gym.
Kiwi, so the question, Well, the light off thing here works because we were taught as kids if the lights off on the porch, they're not home or they're not doing candy.
Right.
Um,
Yeah, works here too.
I know it doesn't work over there potentially, but Kiwi, there's only 13 people in all of New Zealand. You and Len are two of them. Your dad's a third. There's only 10 other people. There can't be that many children.
And the All Blacks are at the World Cup, so
Yeah, and the All Blacks are at the World Cup final on Saturday. So
there's the rest of New Zealand.
And a pick. And a pick.
From Kirk?
It is indeed primetime Kirk Cousins.
Ah, perfect. Who'd he throw it to?
Ward. He was trying to throw to Addison, and then it just became a fight for the ball in the literally off the rip.
Damn it, I had Ward on the bench.
They come over from the islands for Halloween. Ah, okay.
That's an additional,
five kids.
Be like living in the Welsh countryside. The houses are so far apart that you have to drive to houses.
Yeah, I don't know. Being in an apartment complex, I don't know how it works. There's no doorbell. I don't know. I'll just put a bowl out. I don't know. I don't want to deal with them. Next Tuesday's Apex's new season. I'm not fucking answering the door for kids while Apex is on.
Yeah.
No shot.
Just put ramen out with ranch on it.
Ew. What? No, I'm not Haley.
We had this discussion too, and there's got Outlaw likes to put ranch on his spaghetti, and it's like, what?
What? No, don't tell Haley there's another person. Haley, are you in here?
There is. Yeah, exactly. Ranch. I hate ranch in general.
Yeah, me
can't
too.
stand it on anything. Yes, hot sauce 100%.
I'll deal with it so hot sauce is the best, but when you get homophobes are us nuggets, aka Chick-fil-A nuggets, you gotta have ranch. It's the only one that works with it. Yes, that's what I call Chick-fil-A.
I saw some guy post a thing that said, I'm going to start a food truck and I'm just going to park next to Chick-fil-A's on Sunday and call it Side Chick. Oh, I was like, that's so good, dude. I would go to that.
PPR trade, Jacobs for Eckler or Bijan?
Oh, I would take fucking Bijan. Or Eckler probably. I'd look at where they stand right now, points wise. Eckler's probably low because of the injury, but
I would look at the remaining schedule. Let me give you 2 seconds. Give me 2 seconds, Motion Man. Hold on, I had college football schedules up. Hold on.
I would probably. I don't know. I feel like they're similar. I mean, they're definitely similar players, Bijan and Eckler in the past.
Arthur Smith made me hate him yesterday, so I don't know.
I know.
All right, so Eckler did nothing on the ground yesterday and only had 1 catch. Jesus.
Yeah, they were really playing from behind the whole time.
We had 14 rushes, but only for 45 yards. So the Chargers get the Bears, then the Jets, then the Lions, then the Packers, who are terrible against the run, then the Ravens, the Patriots, the Broncos, the Raiders, and then it's too late in the season for fantasy football. So a kind of okay matchups.
Lex, you can do whatever you want. That's the thing about spending holidays alone. I love holidays alone.
Walk around naked. I don't know. I've spent holidays alone since I was 18.
I have a policy for my family. If you want to see me on the holidays, you're coming to my house. I'm not creating any stress.
Bijan gets the Titans this week, but then he gets the Vikings, the Cardinals. That's 2 really easy matchups. The Saints, which isn't great. The Jets isn't great. The Bucks, which is fairly easy. The Panthers, easy. The Colts just gave up 40 points to the Browns. That's tough. I would lean Bijan, but I'm also terrified of Arthur Smith doing more of the crap he just did. I know it was just for an illness, but he didn't even tell anyone. Is this a Christian McCaffrey fumble? Christian McCaffrey fumble. Vikings football.
Damn.
But I would lean Bijan.
I would lean Bijan at this point myself. I just don't know what. Oh wow, The lineman knocked it away from him too as he tried to grab it.
No, you're not. Shut the hell up.
But I'm fat. Yeah, just
Actually,
and just have a webcam that's off in your house. The CIA will check it out.
yeah. Or like just for Christmas, like twerk up against the mustard. The mustard. I just read your post. The window, and that would be what you could do for the holidays.
That was quite a jump there, Matt. I'm not gonna
lie. The kid would be pain.
To the mustard, to the wall.
Like yeah, there you go. Anyway, as we said earlier, with Boogie came in with her angry face, the Phillies just lost to force Game 7. The Diamondbacks have given us a glorious opportunity to watch another Game 7, as Game 7 in the ALCS is currently going on. Just started a minute ago, and it's already 3-0 Rangers, and they still have runners on first and third.
Yeah. I would like to see them knock out the Houston Astros for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I said it in our Discord yesterday. I despise both teams left in the American League, so I'm rooting for the National League, but I would rather the Rangers advance than the Astros.
So Seager homered, Garcia singled to left to score Carter, and then Garver singled to score Garcia.
And they still have first and third. It is a 1-1 count with 2 outs.
Yeah.
But so there's baseball so far. We'll keep you updated on the Rangers Astros as it goes on tonight. Reminder: Frozen Frenzy, every NHL game on an NHL equivalent of Red Zone on ESPN tomorrow. I'll remind again at the end. World Cup, Rugby World Cup, Saturday, 3 p.m. Eastern Time. It is the All Blacks of New Zealand versus South Africa. South Africa is a very defensive All Blacks. I mean, a rugby team. They don't score a lot, but they do. They fight hard. I blame Yalf. Blame.
Oh, myself.
Oh, myself. Okay. I was like, you blame Buddy the Elf. I don't know. I thought the All Blacks were going to get their ass kicked too, to be honest, but then they just beat Argentina 44-3. And I'm like, oh. So the All Blacks are fired up right now because, I mean, I know England's good, but South Africa only winning 17-15 to get to the final. I'm a little intrigued to see how this matchup goes. So, yes, and I know the All Blacks have very sporadic spurts of high-scoring dominance and then collapse again. I don't know what happened. I know 2 of their best players retired since the last World Cup, but I don't know why they're not as consistent right now the past few years. But I don't know. I think it'll be a good game. I really do. I think it'll be a good game.
I mean, it should be a good game. It is the final, right? Like you're expecting
but
the
we've
best
seen
teams
some
to be there.
Yeah, but we've seen some pretty bad finals in sports. The Broncos and Seahawks are a perfect example of when Russell Wilson destroyed the Broncos. They win one, think they're almighty. Yeah, we'll see. Again, it'll be interesting. Saturday's going to be fun. I'm actually really excited. The Xfinity Series race will be on, so I'll have to have them both on. But that's fine. I'm really excited to see how it goes down.
Multiple screens.
Yeah, because I can't not watch racing anymore. It's like become my biggest thing. Except for I forgot on Sunday. I'm not going to lie. I was real into football, and then 3:30 came in. I was like, oh, the race started over an hour ago.
It happens.
But
3 p.m. on Saturday, Eastern time.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a Hawkinson first down. Iowa just produced the craziest tight ends. I just don't.
Corn-fed.
It's just insane to watch every time. But anyway, all right. So football. So Thursday night, what was Thursday night's game? Was it good? I don't know.
Thursday night was the Jacksonville at New Orleans.
It was a decent game. Okay.
Yeah. Jacksonville wins that game 31-24. Derek Carr seemed to lose his shit a little bit during that game.
I think it's our voices. I think we seduce people to sleep. Just
Yeah, that's probably it.
yeah, he had a meltdown on the side.
I don't understand why. Like,
I made a joke that the reason Foster Moreau was crying was because he was scared of Derek Carr coming after him after he dropped that pass.
oh, well, actually, I think like somebody like it was either Dan Patrick show or the Rich Eisen show where they said that they were like, "Do you think Foster Moreau dropped that ball because he was just so worried about how Derek Carr was acting? Like, did that play a part in it?"
Yeah, Derek Carr he was unhinged. He said he's going to do better and he has to be a better leader. Look, the Saints are inconsistent. Their biggest problem is that they have talent in a lot of places, but they are not playing consistent football. And I mean, I know. So I used to, when I used to stream all the time, people said they came to my streams just to help them relax. And I was like, I'm trying to have a good time, not be a soothing voice. But I mean, I'll take it. Whatever. I'll take it.
Yeah, you'd have to come early in my stream because once the music gets going, good luck.
I don't know how people sleep in mine. I scream and yell at it. Like when I'm playing DBD, I'm like freaking out. I'm not scared, but I'm, goofy and hyper and making fun of the killers. No, not the band. They're not band fed. I mean, they probably don't listen to Corn in Iowa. They probably listen to like Blake Shelton and other country stars because I don't know anyone else's name.
Oh, come on. Darius Rucker.
There you go. That's another one.
Toby Keith, old school. Jay Jetta.
You used to fall asleep in Dodge streams. It had to be 100% be before his music because that music was. I mean, it's not like listening to screamo, but it's the music that gets you jazzed up. I don't know how you'd fall asleep during it.
Until the end.
Yeah, but I felt the flow, man. I loved your streams. It was a vibe. It was itself a vibe.
Yeah, you can't really do that now because now the music I listen to is a lot more like metal hissing noises than anything else.
And I listen to a lot of. I listen to so much Electric Callboy. I honestly forget other bands.
I do love Electric Callboy. Electric Callboy is great.
Them and Sleep Token. I've just been obsessed with those two lately, so I've just kind of forgotten about other music.
So, like, you can't mix EDM and metal, and it's like, watch me.
I know, they're so good.
I love like melodic female vocals over any type of EDM music, so that's all. There's always a place for that in my heart.
But anyway, so I don't know. This game Thursday night, I'm still waiting to see the Jags explode.
I don't know if we're gonna see it at this point. Like it's becoming a problem, right? Like, okay, they put up 31 points. I understand that. ETN is their best player right now.
Don't you give me Billie Eilish. Billie Eilish is mumble rap.
We'll get out of here.
There, I just rapped. I Billie Eilish. Have you fellas had a rehydration stop? What does that mean? Like this?
Did she? Let's see. I gotta look at the Twitch chat.
We don't have a rehydrate in our chat.
I have been drinking lots of water, and then at night, a little gin.
It's 100% a ghost. I've had 2 full bottles of water. I'm Gucci, so I gotta go now. Listen to Billy. I hate you.
In my old age, I drink 20 ounces of water with Metamucil to start off my morning.
I hate eggs, but ever since I started this diet, I eat 3 sunny side up eggs with a bottle of water every morning for breakfast.
I have 3 eggs, 1 slice of bacon.
I'm not disciplined enough. I can't do it. I can't do one bacon. I would eat like 5 pieces of bacon. There's no shot.
I eat one piece of bacon, split it in half, put it on like a low carb tortilla, 3 eggs, 12 cups of coffee, one with MCT, 1 tablespoon.
12
yeah,
cups of coffee.
Yeah.
Holy snap.
No, I actually need to eat the real bacon. I need the fat from it. The MCT oil I put in my first cup of coffee is 14 grams of fat, 100 calories.
I don't know if Kiwi hits 12 bowls in a day.
Well, I cook all 14 and I just eat them.
Right? Like I would just pull out I would just pull out 5. I would pull out and fry up 5 pieces and be like, all right.
Yeah, discipline is the name of the game. I talk about it all the time with my assistant at work when it comes to dieting. Discipline 100%. And Kirk Cousins just diced up the San Francisco defense on that drive, dude.
The 100% just smooth as it didn't even run the ball. Just as smooth as can be. Just
no.
Hawkinson, Addison.
Hawkinson, I cook a whole pack of bacon every time I cook bacon, but it just 13 strips end up in a Ziploc bag in my fridge.
Ew, what? No, you got to eat them fresh. You got to cook them fresh and then eat them fresh. That's how they're delicious.
Listen, there's 4 people in my house, so it goes quickly. And each morning I take one of those and put it back in the pan after I'm done cooking my eggs.
Bruh.
Yeah, actually, and right now, the great thing about here is at Sam's Club, the 3-pack of bacon that's normally $15 is $6 off, so it's $9. So I bought 3 of them. How many fit in the pan? I cook 8 the first round, 6 the second round.
I get those like really thick, long 14. Ones, so I can only get about 3 to 4 in my pan. But we're really good at talking about football.
Listen, we get off on tangents on Mondays. It's fine. It's fine. If people are interacting with what we're conversing about, then I'm
not complaining. Sam Club, I'm too broke for that shit.
That's kind of like a wrong statement, because like if you buy at Sam's Club, you actually save yourself money. You spend more per time. I'm drunk. Sorry, not sorry. Hey, whatever.
The Phillies drive people to drink. We get it.
I think that's probably the craziest thing about the diet is like I have 4 Trulies on Sunday, and I'm not drinking at all tonight. And normally Sunday, Monday during football are the only 2 days I drink now.
So with the keto diet, because like with my diet, I have to have a cheat day to recarb and
I have a cheat day every 22 days.
Okay. Because like I know like with regular diets, really what the secret is you still need to make sure you throw a fat carb day in so your body has stuff to break down. And that's exactly what that cheat day does. Is I realized like the last week of the month is like when I plateau. So I kind of need that one like that. What generally my cheat day will consist of going to Five Guys, ordering a burger without a bun, and then having the fries on the side. And I'll gain here's a perfect example. So on Friday night I was in Burlington and we went to. I can't say the Eagles looked really good anymore. Boogie yelled at me, so I'll have to say something like, the Philadelphia football team looked average. When I was 19, I shut down my liver and kidneys. But yeah, so every 22 days, basically a cheat day. So like on Saturday, we went to a sushi place. So I had sake, I had some rice, and then I had sashimi, and then I had popcorn after that. And so like Saturday, I was like 4 pounds heavier, but then Sunday I was 5 pounds lighter. Yeah, so I call my cheat day Taco Bell day. It's whatever day of the week I feel like going to Taco Bell and not cooking, and then every other day it's just cooking. Yeah, likes me too. I love Five Guys inside me. One's enough. I love you. Your liver's tapping out when you start peeing blood. That's about it. Your kidneys are tapping out when you pee blue. Back when Amp was blue, like you could buy Amp energy drink. Yeah, I peed fucking straight blue. I was like, oh, all right. But I drank 50 of them in a week, so that's probably why. I ordered a 50-pack and it didn't last me 7 days. So I can't remember. Did it to myself.
Oh, so it was like something like guy dies after eating 487 chicken nuggets, and somebody the first comment was, "All right, now we know the limit. It's 486." uh,
Got to go
uh,
get like 8 Chick-fil-A trays. No, not even that many. They're large. They're large trays, like 120 nuggets or 200 nuggets. It's 200. There you go.
well done. It's like the offensive lineman wing place thing where like they just go and eat chicken wings and they just bring
Oh,
out
yep.
trays.
I hate Ben too. It's okay, Boogie. I mean, Lex. It's okay.
Yeah, me too.
Mew, buddy, I'm right here. I know you're just sitting there yelling. I don't know.
Okay.
Anyway,
back to the football game. ETN had he had 2 touchdowns. Christian Kirk had a game.
Yeah, I know.
Michael Thomas was kind of in there. Taysom Hill had a touchdown. It was an odd. Was this the game where they missed a few kicks?
I'm pulling it up now.
I don't remember.
Statistically, McManus was 1 for 1 and 4 for 4 from extra points. And Blake Groupie missed 1 because it's his regulation now. He just misses 1 every game.
Yeah.
And that was
it.
it.
Okay, that was just the one that Groupie missed that I saw. There was.
All right, I gotta go see if he's doing something stupid.
All right,
he's in the bathroom.
I think the crazy thing was that ETN with the touchdowns wasn't even their, leading rusher. It was Trevor Lawrence with 59 yards. ETN had 14 carries for 53 yards. So the Saints really shut that down. Lawrence was 20 of 29, 1 TD, no interceptions, QBR of 84.3, average 7 yards per throw. And like I said, he had 59 yards rushing, so he was actually the leading rusher. Tank Bigsby was not really in the game at all. 2 rushes, 2 yards. On
Kiwi, don't you dare go gardening. Just kidding. Have fun.
On the other side, Derek Carr was 33 of 55 for 301, 1 TD, 1 interception. He was sacked 1 time, and his QBR was 37.3. 5.5 yard average. Alvin Kamara, 17 carries, 62 yards, not terrible. Taysom Hill did have the 1 touchdown rushing. So, I mean, it didn't seem like a game New Orleans should have lost, but I just feel like they're just so inconsistent.
Maybe really mice are really stupid. Yeah, I know. I don't know. They just don't. They are a team that feels like they play with no rhythm.
Right.
Like the whole game. Like there's moments where I'm like, damn, they look good. And then it just goes flat, like within a play or two. It's not even like at the end of a drive. The Saints feel like they have no rhythm at all. I don't know if it's Dennis Allen as the head coach. Because I think they have the talent.
They got skilled position players. They do. And their defense is fairly good. They're just, again, they're inconsistent, which I think you're right, might point to coaching more than anything else. Like play calling, maybe that type of thing, because they've got guys. Like they're not short on players.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Neither team has been consistent enough this season to make me like. And I know Colin Cowherd put the Jags in a Super Bowl bubble this week, and I'm like,
I'm not.
I get that they're 5-2. I understand they're 5-2, but there has not been any moment of consistency yet that makes me go, yeah, they can go out there and beat a Baltimore, a San Francisco, Philadelphia. I just don't see it.
Yeah, I mean, I can see them hanging with a team like that, but I don't see them beating them.
We get to find out this week, right? Like, I'm not saying the Steelers are good, but the Steelers are a tough team and a tough out, and they play the Steelers this week. So I do think this will be a good test for Jacksonville to see if they can go out and handle a really good defense with a big pass rush and go out there and play a game. Mice are scary. No. Well, they shouldn't be in your home. I don't know what's going on with that, but they're not scary.
Well, once it gets cold, you'll start to see them try to move indoors. So Um, one of the weird things that they don't like that's like a home remedy, just put Irish Spring, like shave Irish Spring bar soap and put it around the perimeter of your house. They, like I, hate Irish Spring.
But yeah, I don't know. So anyway, that's who the Jags play. There's no bye weeks this coming week, so everybody's going to have a game here. And the Saints get the Colts.
They also just make like really decent traps for mice. So if you have one in your house, just put the trap out. They'll trust me. They'll go in there, and then you just throw the whole trap out. Like they're like whole houses for them.
All right, 1 o'clock games Sunday afternoon.
Yeah.
Let's start with the one that did not have defense, even though we all thought it was going to have defense. Cleveland and Indy.
Yeah, that was
Myles Garrett played defense, but I don't think anyone else did.
Did you see that? Did you see like his stat line? He was like the only defensive player in history.
Yeah, it was insane. Hold on, I actually had it yesterday.
Was like, the blocked field goal made it like the stat, right?
Yeah, it was 7 tackles, 2 sacks, 1 pass deflection, 2 forced fumbles, a fumble recovery, and a blocked field goal.
Yeah,
only like he literally did everything in the entire game. Except for an interception.
Lex, if they hide inside the clock part of your stove, they're probably coming from wherever the hole behind your stove is. Or if it's in the floor or whatever, that's where they're coming from to get in there. Obviously, that's the place where they want to be because stoves will have crumbs and whatnot. So if you take care of that hole wherever it is, you can kind of block them out of there. Oh, the joys of home ownership. Yay.
That's fun, isn't it?
No, it's not. I would highly advise renting.
So
yeah, nobody played defense other than Myles Garrett.
Yeah, the Browns defense is no longer the number 1 defense in the NFL.
Not after giving up 38.
No, it has actually moved over to Baltimore officially.
Yeah, we'll get there. Holy shit.
Yeah, because they didn't just give up 38. They let Gardner Minshew throw for 305, and they ran for 140. So now the question about this game that I do have for anyone that wants to answer, you, Chad, everybody, Browns fans especially, are you done with Deshaun Watson yet? Like I don't. He was medically cleared once again to return to a game, and this is the second time this season he decided not to come back to a game. And I don't know if it's he knows his body more still type thing, or if it's really just
maybe his massage therapist were telling him don't go in,
or just took $240 million and said, "Fuck it."
Yeah, once a man has that kind of money, his drive to continue, and that's all guaranteed. That's the crazy.
Yeah, he doesn't. That's the thing. He doesn't have to worry about, even if he gets cut, it's guaranteed money, so he doesn't have to worry about anything. I don't know. I was very interested in the fact that he didn't come back into that game.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is, like what the coach said today.
I actually didn't hear what he said.
He said there's a possibility might not play the rest of the year.
Oh yeah, I heard he's day to day.
I know Watson lost me a game. I had my Superflex league. I had Patrick Mahomes and Deshaun Watson. I had picked up PJ Walker in case Deshaun Watson didn't play. Patrick Mahomes puts up 131 points in this Superflex league because the scoring's ridiculous. Deshaun Watson gave me 0.5 points, and I lost by 10.
I had Jake Moody missed again.
God damn it. He's on my fantasy team too.
Man, didn't miss a single kick at Michigan.
Yeah.
Back-to-back weeks, back-to-back field goals missed. And this is in a dome, a closed dome.
Yeah.
Sorry Watson gave you negative points. I would have told you not to start him anyway. I dot Superflex. You probably just that's your best option for a Superflex spot.
Literally, after that, there was PJ Walker, who I picked up to put on my bench in case Brian Hoyer, and Aiden O'Connell. And that was it for people that might play. Because it's a super flex league, so everybody has a bunch of quarterbacks. Wow, he did. He fucking missed that by a long shot.
I mean, I told everybody, Tyson, I mean, you might not have been able to do it, but Boogie, come on. Taysom Bagnet was going to be a better play. And he wasn't terrible. He didn't do a lot, but he wasn't terrible. And the Bears flat out dominated that game.
Listen, the Bears are what, 1-13 with Justin Fields as the starter in the last 14?
Yeah, Bagnet came in and goes 1-0. Yeah, good for him. Anyway, I don't know. Gardner Minshew.
If you were hurting and Deshaun hurts, you just, call up the massage therapist. He's got the numbers.
Gardner Minshew is going to continue to do what Gardner Minshew does. He's going to have moments where he looks great. Like yesterday, he was all right against the top defense. But then we're going to have weeks where he throws 3 picks and looks like garbage. So Colts fans will have to suffer through this year without.
Yeah, he's like another version of Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, exactly. Colts fans, you'll have to deal without Anthony Richardson for the season. But you know what? Rookie Josh Downs is continuing to look really freaking good, so that's positive note. You found a second receiver. And Jonathan Taylor's starting to come back really nice. So I highly recommend that Colts fans just understand that this is going to be a wash season and enjoy the fact that other pieces on your team look good. Get the quarterback back, and you probably will be all right.
Browns. That the Browns have Dustin Hopkins, who hit a 44-yarder, a 54-yarder, a 54-yarder, and a 58-yarder in the game.
Yeah, Dustin Hopkins went off yesterday. I had played against him in my cousin's league in fantasy. Hi, Kat. Yes, I know you missed me too, Luma. I'm home. I'm not going anywhere. Go lay down. I do feel bad. Those guys who asked about Kareem Hunt, he had 2 touchdowns.
I know. It was the first thing I said. I'm like, oh, man. But
he did what I said. He only ran the ball for 3 yards a carry, which is exactly what I said, but just happened to be they were touchdowns. I don't.
Oh, yeah.
Now it is. I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't believe half the diseases they claim are coming out. I already heard earlier this year there was some disease going around by that's spreadable by bees. I was like, I don't care. I don't believe you. Like 12 people will get it, and they'll be like, watch out, pandemic on the way. And I'm like, no, chill out. COVID's too fresh in all of our minds, so we worry, but no, not everything's a pandemic.
It's not a new disease. They're saying it's leishmaniasis.
Oh, yeah. That's just people not being clean after they touch things and flies land on them. They're not being clean with themselves.
Yeah, and that's generally
your claws are weight.
That's generally spread by sandflies. It's very a very tropical disease.
Government trying to kill us? No,
they
need taxpayers.
The government needs us. When you get a social security number, that's just them giving you a stamp that, hey, you're going to join the capitalist machine.
Yeah, they need taxpayers to fund the next 5 wars we're going to enter. Why am I watching him pregame? I guess to see if he made this field goal from the same spot.
I think leishmaniasis is treated with antiparasitics. So nothing that can't be avoided or cured.
But no, I was actually impressed by Gardner Minshew to handle the Browns defense. I was a little concerned at what I saw in Cleveland for their defense, but every team has a bad day, and maybe that was just the defense's bad day. So that's fine.
Bad defense, but you still see your stud being a stud. So you're like, all right.
But Cleveland gets the Seahawks this coming week in a 4:00 game in Seattle, and the Colts get who I just mentioned in the Saints. And what'll actually be kind of intriguing, I kind of just want to see how Derek Carr handles this game after what we just saw. So,
yeah.
Kind of interested to see that game go down. So we're going to hop right into the next game. Of 38-6, the Baltimore Ravens came out and listened to our podcast and said, oh, we're the team that can't blow out the other team. Let's show you what that's all about. Because they came out and blew out the Lions.
That wasn't even close. That was like, I haven't felt more wrong about a game than that one.
Yeah, so honestly, I'm not saying the Lions are bad. You're allowed to have a bad game, but you shouldn't get blown out in a bad game. I do worry that the Lions are going to struggle against physical defenses after watching this game. At least without David Montgomery.
Yeah,
like I feel
David
like he has to be their bruiser to actually open up the offense, which makes me a little worried about him. Don't even. We'll get to the Packers game. You might be asleep, but trust me, it ain't going to be pretty. Doc can sit back in his chair, and things will happen. It ain't going to be pretty. But no, the Lions, I think they're going to be all right. I'm not panicking about them. I don't think they're the 49ers. Like a lot of people are like, you can't say the 49ers are guaranteed to be the best team in the NFC. I still think they are. Granted, tonight I'm getting a little concerned about what I'm watching go down.
Yeah, I feel like their offense is like started to slow down, and that's what's scary. Like the offense is good because when the offense is rolling, the defense is only on the field. They can make a big stop, big plays. And now it seems like when the offense sputters, the defense plays worse. So obviously, one's leading to the other.
Yeah, but after yesterday, I have a feeling Lamar Jackson has moved himself up to the MVP conversation even higher. Mm-hmm. I believe he's probably the leader. If not Mahomes, it's probably the battle. But the Ravens, I mean, honestly, they're good everywhere right now. Ronnie Stanley being back is so big for them. You can see it when Lamar stands in the pocket. He is just so comfortable knowing that big man is out there on the left side. I think the Ravens are a real problem for everybody they face. They're physical, but they have speed and people like Zay Flowers and Lamar. So, it's just a nice blend.
I think the big thing about the game against the Lions is Lamar did it almost entirely with his arm.
Yeah, he only ran the ball 9 times for 36 yards, and the long was 10. So,
yeah, he did have a touchdown that way. But, I mean, he was 21 of 27 for 357 with a 13.2 average and 3 touchdown throws. I mean, that is a hell of a game.
Yeah, and he spread the ball out. Look how many different people caught the ball. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
9 people caught the ball.
Andrews and Flowers got the ball 4 times each. Odell Beckham got the ball 5 times. So, everybody was in. Nelson Aguilar had a catch. Justice Hill had a catch. Rashad Bateman had 2. Gus Edwards had one. That 10-yard dump off that went for 80 yards.
I know. Gus Edwards just had a day yesterday. I don't know.
So, they're definitely sliding up into, the top end for sure. I mean, you can't deny it.
No, we got power rankings next week, and I right now have them very high, and they play the Cardinals this week, so I probably keep them very high.
Yeah, you'd have to throw an absolute stinker.
And the Lions get the Raiders, so they get to bounce back. I do believe they will bounce back. I've seen Lions fans going, here we go again. We know the division's weak, so we're taking the foot off the gas. I don't think that's it. I think they just were outmatched. I honestly just think they were outplayed.
They were out physical.
Yeah, and the Lions are the team you think out physical everybody. So they just, getting out physical for them is rare, and we saw what it looked like. And that's fine. Every team has a weakness. We saw the Lions yesterday.
Yeah, especially without David Montgomery. I think that's once they get him back, then we'll see.
I agree, actually. I think that's a big piece. I think he's the punch in the mouth that they need. Kind of like if the Eagles lose DeAndre Swift, they will have no offense this season. I think that's the same thing with the Lions. I think losing David Montgomery is just too big of a loss.
Yeah.
Because the Eagles use DeAndre Swift to punch you in the face, and then they throw to A.J. Brown, and you just can't cover it. You just can't. There's too much. It's just too goddamn good, the two of them. And then you get Devontae Smith. It's just yesterday showed me a lot in Miami, and I was really impressed by the Eagles. I don't say that often, but I was thoroughly impressed by the Eagles yesterday. But anyway, we'll get to that game. Your game. 29-25.
My strategy worked.
Mac Jones, in 1 minute and 20-something seconds, drives down the field like he's Patrick Mahomes and puts a game-winning touchdown on Mike Gesicki. What a baller.
I literally was like, okay, Mac, do not throw a pick six. I was like, don't throw a pick six. Don't throw a pick six. Don't throw a pick six. Because I was like, oh, man. Oh,
I believe a perfect quarterback rating or very close to.
he was, I mean, his numbers were stupid. I was like, why can't we hit
5
that?
incompletions. Mac Jones, how do I clip? You clip. I don't know. You hit the clip button.
He was 25.
You highlight the little screen on Twitch, and then there should be like a little, what looks like a director's board.
25 of 30 for 272, 9.1 average, 2 touchdowns, 1 sack for 4 yards, QBR of 78.3, and a rating of 126.7.
I think perfect is 134.5, but still, like, you couldn't have asked for more from Mac against the Bills defense. It's not even like it's against a slouch. It's against the Bills defense. He came out. I mean, I'm going to go back through and clip. You saw it probably because you follow us. You saw it really go up on TikTok today and stuff, and we got a ton of likes right off the rip. So great to see. So those clips have started to get made and put out. So you'll see it. I mean, I can always go get it if you need me to, Boogie.
We have a
question: half PPR, Devontae Smith for Amari Cooper and Olave. Which one are you getting? Are you giving up Devontae Smith to get Olave and Cooper? Oh, you're the best, Boogie. You really are. I don't know. I know Dot brought you here, but I'm so thankful. You're wonderful. But Amari, no, that's not the one. This one.
Yeah. Are you getting Cooper and Olave? That's the question. Or are you giving them?
That's actually really hard. Either way.
Yeah. Because you know what the Eagles' offense is. Olave and Cooper are going to be more boom or bust.
Well, what did he do yesterday? Devontae, another 4 for 48. Olave.
Oh, receiving Olave and Cooper.
Half point PPR. You're getting... I don't know. Olave is, in my opinion, hold on. Let me check his stats. I want to make sure I'm not crazy, but I think he's actually been more consistent this season than Devontae Smith all by himself. Let's see. Player stats. Devontae Smith is 32 catches for 383 yards and 2 touchdowns. And Christopher Olave is... 39 catches for 471 yards and 1 touchdown. So almost 100 more yards on 7 more catches, 1 less touchdown. And then you're getting Amari Cooper on top of it. To me, who's your other receivers? Because you might not need to. Like, that would be nice bench depth if you have bye week problems, but you might not need to make that really... I don't know. Olave for Devonta is really hard, but right now A.J. Brown has 28 more catches than Devontae Smith. So, like, you see where the ball is going. Granted, A.J. Brown's on like almost historic pace. He's already at like 55 catches or something. It's nuts. Waddle and Puka. Oh, man. Imagine that.
I mean, having just Olave.
Yeah, I would do it. I would do it.
I would probably take it because then you can, then you put Olave. You're really using Olave more in a flex position.
And the Eagles are going to get some real rough winter games coming up. Plus, they get the Cowboys, Chiefs, Bills, 49ers, Cowboys in a row coming up. Literally in a row. Those are real rough defensive matchups for Devonta Smith to face.
Yeah.
And the Saints, I assume, with finishing third in the NFC South last year, have a pretty easy schedule, but I'll check. Bears, Vikings, Falcons, Panthers, Giants. Yeah, I'm going to take Olave over that. And then there's Amari Cooper. If he gets Deshaun Watson back, Amari Cooper's phenomenal. He hasn't been great with P.J. Walker. Just remember that. But it's a risk because you're getting Olave, and Olave right now is outperforming Devonta Smith slightly, but he's doing it. So I would take it.
Yeah, I would take the trade as well. I think
Especially since you're not hurting at receiver.
and there's potential upside there with getting the extra guy as well, right? Like bye weeks, things like that. Matchup wise, you could play it that way. So I think there's definitely potential upside there.
Anyway, Josh Allen wasn't horrendous, but wasn't great. He has as many turnovers as he does games played this season.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, about as many picks. Sorry, he also has 4 fumbles on top of the picks, so he actually has 11 turnovers in 7 games. To clarify, but and he said after the game, I would really love to know what it is that we can't win these close games. Well, you can't win close games when you're constantly turning the ball over.
If you don't win the turnover battle in a game, you're statistically likely to lose that game.
Yeah. So look, I'm not blaming it all on Josh Allen, but he's got to get cleaner with the football, or he's going to lose these close games. I don't know what happened because the Patriots should have got their ass kicked. Every single time the game showed up on TV on Red Zone and I saw the Patriots winning and driving, I was like, what? I literally said out loud, what the hell is happening here? I had completely given up on the Patriots winning another game this season.
I literally didn't think it was going to happen either. I'm my strategy for picking them now.
I know, and they're the Bills are 1-2 in the division. They lost to the Jets and Patriots.
Yeah, but beat Miami.
Okay. Yeah, but beat Miami can't play a physical team. We saw it last night. It just doesn't happen.
Yeah,
but we'll get there. But the Bills will be fine. I know a lot of people in Buffalo are really freaking out because they're like 4-3 now. Which is just weird to say.
They're fine.
They'll be all right. They'll get hot. Once they get hot, we know what they are. Like once Josh Allen really gets going and cooking, which he will because he's Josh Allen, it's going to be they're going to be hard to stop. They get the Bucs this week on Thursday Night Football. They're our Thursday night game this week. I love a week with no bye weeks. But unfortunately, we get some really bad primetime games this week. But we'll take Bucs, Bills, and see what happens. The Bills might struggle against the Bucs defense, so it might be a closer game than people might think. It is a 7.5-point line right now. No, 9-point line in favor of the Bills. It was 7 yesterday. It is a 9-point line in favor of the Bills. And your New England Patriots get the Dolphins in Miami. Woo! So we already know how that's going.
Yeah. I'm going to pick Miami and make it my lock of the week. See how it goes.
I mean, it's in Miami, and you guys don't know how to play football in Miami, so I'll just assume that's correct. Anyway, the next game, I was so happy for Tyson, but here we are. The 30-12. I don't know how Josh McDaniels still has a job game.
I mean, I think the discount there is he didn't have his starting QB, but I don't think it would have been any different with Garoppolo.
I mean, it might have been like 30-20, but I don't know. Like you played a Division 2, undrafted rookie quarterback and couldn't win the game. Against the Bears. Granted, the Bears are hurting themselves in draft picks, but you know what? Continue doing that, Chicago. That's cool with me.
Where they're not hurting for the draft picks, Carolina.
Yeah, Carolina's really helping out the Bears. Well, they're like, you know what? Let's move our pick a little farther down, I guess. I don't know. Hoyer looked pretty rough. We did have a Davante Adams drop of a wide open pass in that game. Those happen, though, so he's got to overcome those things. It was good to see them get him and Adams both 7 catches. Or not Adams, sorry, Myers. So it was good to see them get some balance in there. Could have been 5-2 at the.
Yeah, could have been.
Should be up there. Yeah, there it is.
I obviously the turnovers leading to points. I think it was like 6 turnovers turned to 34 points, and strictly from Mac Jones. I mean, you don't take care of the football, those games become losses very quickly. So
Yeah, but I think those are the part of the most of that is those two, right? The Saints and the Cowboys. I think most of those points came from that.
yeah,
Because yeah, you're right. They could have very well been. Doc being a Patriots fan, he's feeling it. But
I'm invested.
besides those two games, they've been in every game.
And you know what's going to be funny is I'm going to go watch them play the Browns. So I get to see the Browns defense in person.
That's who you're seeing next Sunday?
Yeah.
I hadn't looked yet. I knew you were going to Foxborough next Sunday. I just didn't know who it was for. I knew you guys were on the road this week. I know it's early, but I think the Niners need to score here. I don't even care if it's a field goal. They need to do something to get some momentum back.
Either that or they're going to have to make some major adjustments at halftime to figure it the fuck out.
Yeah. By the way, since this game is on, Danielle Hunter, if the Vikings lose, probably going to get shopped this week. They've received a fair amount of phone calls about him this week. So I believe if they feel they're too far out at 2-5, they probably would.
They should.
I think it's time to start getting the house cleaned and getting it ready for Justin Jefferson's new contract and make him see that you have picks and a future ahead of him.
And have a draft ready to get a quarterback.
Seen a lot of people have them taking. I can't think of who the quarterback is. It's not Caleb, obviously, and it's not Drake May. It's not Phoenix. Who is the other name? There's another name in round one, and I can't think of who it is. Oh, it's Dummy, the guy who I honestly think could be an NFL quarterback. The Michigan kid, JJ, whatever.
Oh.
Can we all say all the favorites have come out flat this week? To a degree. I think the Chiefs did what we always – I think the Chiefs came out all right, but I agree otherwise. I mean, well, I guess the Ravens technically were the favorite, but that wasn't really a favorite. They were even on a neutral field. So, yeah, I think a lot of people thought the Lions had a shot in that game. But, yeah, a lot of the big favorites, the Bills, the 49ers are coming out flat. I don't know who was the favorite last night, but the Dolphins came out pretty flat. They were my favorite to win.
The Eagles were the favorite in that game, though.
Okay. But no, I agree. Actually, last few weeks, it's been really weird. A lot of the teams you were like my record and our picks, I mean, we're both still 20 games above 500. But like at the same time, some of these games I'm getting just because I'm taking gamble. Like the Bears this week, I took a gamble. Like I only got that one right because I was like, I'm gonna roll with the Division II QB.
Yeah, you're more of a gambler than I am. That's for sure.
The Browns defense got you 20 points.
Yeah, think about what Myles Garrett did alone.
I know, but they let up 38 points.
Yeah, but a blocked field goal, the fumbles, the sacks. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I think Denzel Ward had a pick. To go on top of it. So yeah. Yeah.
You were talking about JJ McCarthy out of Michigan.
Yeah.
The other one I could see that's probably starting to move up people's boards is Jordan Travis out of Florida State.
I love Jordan Travis. I also don't. I don't know why JJ Patterson's ahead of Bo Nix.
Notre Dame.
But why is JJ Patterson ahead of Bo Nix? Bo Nix is doing wonderful things at Oregon.
I don't think he's above Bo Nix. I mean,
let me put it this way. The last mock draft I saw had him as the third quarterback off the board. And I'm like, the Michigan success comes from running back, defense, and a little bit of pass. It's not really the pass game.
Yeah, I think the problem,
Chiefs versus 49ers Super Bowl. Chill out. Chill out. I know you hate to see it because you're a Steelers fan, but the team in your division is my pick to go to the Super Bowl right now. I think they execute everything better than the Chiefs, except for throw to tight end. But it's a cheat code when you can throw to that man.
Yeah, I feel like that would be a great matchup.
Chiefs Ravens. It happens in a few weeks, I believe.
Yeah, I believe it does. That's what I'm saying. I think that'll kind of be a very telling game.
My phone decided to freeze as I pulled up the schedule, but that's cool. Oh no, they do not play the Chiefs. They play the Niners on Christmas Day, but they don't play the Chiefs.
That's a good matchup.
That's a good Christmas present. That's a great Christmas present, NFL. Thank you.
Get the open presents and get that? Damn.
So I know it's too early for us to all think firings are going to happen, but I honestly, back to the game, I thought we were going to, after yesterday, and again, you said it probably is true because of no Jimmy G, they were like, all right, we'll be lenient. But I thought Josh McDaniels was getting fired last night. I really did. It was such a bad performance. Again, I said really bad Monday night game this week, all primetime games this week. Lions play the Raiders on Monday Night Football. So sorry to football fans. It should be a one-sided showdown. Had a close call to the Rams. Yes, but the Steelers and the Rams are about equal. I know the Rams. The Steelers have the defense. The Rams have the offense, and defense won yesterday. TJ Watt's pick was the game-changing play. It really was.
If you look at the Steelers-Rams matchup, now the Rams have players on offense, but every player on the Rams is really past their prime when you look at it. Like Nakua being young, Tutu Atwell being younger. They're good. They're good. I wouldn't say they're in any prime yet, but almost everybody on the Rams is past their prime, as to where the Steelers have some players on, especially on defense, in their prime. I mean, you have a defensive player of the year candidate in TJ Watt. That guy is fucking doing everything. He dropped back into coverage and had that interception.
It was game changer. It was just truly, he is the game changer.
He is a game wrecker on defense.
Yep. They don't win games without him anymore. They really can't. We saw it last year.
You look at the record when you don't have him, bad.
Yeah. We saw it last year. They were terrible without him. He came back. They won every game. He is all but one. He's an absolute game changer. And we saw it yesterday. I honestly thought the Rams were going to come back and win that game, but he dropped into coverage, read Stafford's eyes, and then came out of coverage to pick that ball off. That is impressive as can be from a pass rusher.
Yeah, from a pass rusher. That's not a guy who's supposed to be able to do that well.
Yeah. No, Myles Garrett ain't doing it, even though he's still my defensive player of the year. TJ Watt's right behind him. Micah Parsons is cooled off, thankfully, so I don't have to say it. It's really, for me, come down to those two and Max Crosby right now.
Yeah, Max Crosby's the other guy who's really making a difference for his team.
Just unfortunately, he's on a team that's not going to win enough games for him to get the recognition he deserves. But I mean, they're 3-4. They are what they are. The Chicago Bears, to answer what comes next, they get the Chargers on Sunday Night Football. Like I said, Sunday it's just not fun this coming week. Bears Chargers could be actually a mess, so who knows?
Yeah, I could see that game being an absolute mess for the Chargers and having a chance to lose that game.
I'm curious who the quarterback's going to be for the Bears. I don't know how long Fields is going to be out. They said it wasn't likely to come back this week, but they also reported Sunday morning that he's starting to get a little bit of grip back in his hand. So it may be, but it's, as of right now, leaning towards 2-week injury. So, I mean, a dislocated thumb on your throwing hand is going to be a problem. So we'll have to see. If it's Bagnett again, you never know.
It's possible that Fields returns to the field when the Bears face the Saints on November 5th in New Orleans.
There you go. So most likely not playing this week. Cool. Bagnett potentially. All right. 2 1:00 games left to discuss. I'm just going to start with the one I really wanted to talk about. Tyrod Taylor winning the game 14-7 for the New York Giants. I know they didn't score a lot of points, 14 points. I get it, but it's a division rival, and that offense looked really good.
Yeah, he was spreading the ball around well. The offense seems to pass the ball much better with him.
I honestly think they're just
inconsistent as hell.
Yeah, Sam Howell's very inconsistent. And now they're running Chris Rodriguez as much as Brian Robinson, so I don't know what they're doing. I have no idea what they're doing. But I will say I thought the Jonathan Allen interview after the game was very interesting.
Oh, I loved his interview though. I mean, he's
I
telling you like it is.
I did too. I don't know if everyone saw it, but after the game, he was trying to hold back his anger a little bit. At the beginning, he was just saying, they beat us everywhere. We weren't prepared. We didn't come into this game as tough as we needed to. We've got to do better. And then they asked him if he's like upset about this game, and he just straight up said it's been the same shit for 7 years, and he's tired of this shit, and it needs to end.
Yeah, it was expletive ridden. Basically, I'm tired of it, and I guess the only upside is like they have a new owner, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's time to just change the guard, change the coaching. If you want to keep players, that's the only way you're going to keep them.
And I honestly wonder if trade deadline being next week, if they're going to start to move some pieces to get some pieces for the new owners to play with, some picks and stuff for them to build the way they want to build.
Yeah, I don't know. I can see it happening.
They're a team I'm interested in. And yes, Cho. So I don't know if the Niners are just coming out slow, like our friend earlier said. I have no idea. Or maybe this film's out here now. Get to Brock Purdy, and he's uncomfortable, and he's not as consistent.
You can see on a lot of his throws, he's missing high. Like he's releasing the ball too early.
Yeah. And I did not know this until before the game. Eli Manning educated me, which has never happened in my life. But Eli Manning said the Vikings are first in the NFL in blitz rate. They blitz more than any team in the NFL. So, I mean, that's a problem for the Niners. If Brock Purdy's not comfortable against the blitz, this could be a trap game for him.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's in Minnesota. They play really well at home. That crowd is super obnoxious. So, yeah, they're one of the more passionate fan bases in sports. So, this is a
well, if the 49ers can march here and at least get 3 on the board, they get the ball at half. They're going to make adjustments.
Yeah, they're at the 3-yard line. It most likely winds up 10-7 here, just knowing how bad the
Let's not count the chickens before they hatch. It is primetime Kirk Cousins. He's due for an interception.
Another one.
Yeah, another one. Christian McCaffrey did fumble the ball close to the goal line.
Yeah, it was inside the 10.
And yes, Purdy does struggle against the blitz. But, I mean, at the end of the day, kid's 12-1 in games he started and finished?
Yeah. And he's never lost on primetime.
Which is, already better.
He's 8-0.
So.
Or 6-0, sorry, in primetime. So
yeah, that's like 8 times more wins in primetime than Kirk Cousins has.
Yeah. But there's Christian McCaffrey touchdown. So I loved this Commanders-Giants game. I did a random same-game parlay that was as wild as can be yesterday. I was bored waiting for the podcast, so I just picked a bunch of random players in this game. Don't ask me why this game. I had 50 cents left on my DraftKings account, and I went with this game. And I think it was because Tyrod was in. And I wound up with 50 cents winning $103 because of this game. So I loved this game. I absolutely loved this game. But look, I think the Giants – they're going to go to the guy they paid $40 million to, but I actually think it's a quarterback problem in New York. They looked better last week against the Bills. They should have won last week against the Bills. Our friend earlier said the Patriots could be 5-2. The Bills could be 3-4 if that Giants game was called right. Like, that's crazy to think about. And the Giants look just so more, and I'm not saying they score more points, but they look more, they possess the ball. They eat time. They don't throw turnovers. They don't have Daniel Jones' quick little 3-and-outs. Tyrod is just better at the game of football than Daniel Jones is behind a bad offensive line. You put him behind a great offensive line, Daniel Jones is great. We've seen it. When he's had protection, yes, he is a good quarterback. But when he doesn't have protection, he gets flustered and makes dumb decisions. Tyrod doesn't do that.
Yeah, Tyrod's he's a vet in the league now.
I just wanted to say, I see the hand. I didn't see it. I don't have my glasses on because I look real weird with and we see our reflection off my glasses.
The screen reflection is bad.
Yeah, so I didn't see the hand. But hi, Vanessa. Hope you're doing well. Pat's going downhill. Pats are going
sideways, maybe.
I honestly think if they can stop letting Bill draft and they can just get 2 good drafts, the Pats will be back. And I don't think Mac Jones is the problem. I think he needs a weapon. I think he needs a little bit better of an offensive line. And I think he needs a more consistent ground game behind him. I'm not saying yesterday wasn't okay out of the backfield, but
and
Zeke's
you can really discount last year because he didn't have an offensive coordinator. He had a defensive coordinator as an offensive coordinator.
Yeah. And Bill O'Brien's he's making good play calls. They're not executing some of them because there's no offensive line to protect the quarterback on some of these bigger throws he's trying to get.
Yeah.
But anyway, Commanders-Giants, it was a very defensive game, which I loved. I actually love these types of games in the NFC East. It makes me excited to watch them play other NFC East teams. Commanders get the Eagles this week. Giants get the Jets, so a battle of New York. Actually, a battle of New Jersey. So we'll see how that game goes. It will be Daniel Jones. From everything I'm hearing, he should be back this week. So
yeah, that's what I'm hearing as well. Talks for the Giants.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be funny if they go out and lay another stinker and Zach Wilson beats them. Granted, I texted you about it today. I don't know if it went through because I was in Gettysburg, so I had spotty service. But I read today a report that some people are saying Aaron Rodgers could be on the field as early as week 8. And I'm like,
He already came out and said, whoa, let's slow our roll on when
I was going to say, there's no way. I mean, he's on Pat tomorrow. And I'm like, I just need to wait until tomorrow. I was like, but there's no way. The guy's 39, tore his Achilles 6 weeks ago. Like, there's just no way.
And Achilles injuries are historically 9 to 12 months. Like,
exactly. Maybe the playoffs because of the way his doctor is and his medical science and whatnot, but maybe the playoffs, but no. It's crazy how many people like maybe week 8. And I'm like,
maybe he went to the bayou and got a little voodoo magic. Who knows?
Yeah, I don't know. He went and visited Voodoo Mama Juju,
I just don't think he's going to be back anytime. We shouldn't even be talking about it, to be honest. But there's always
it's just a sports topic that came up, so just. But all right, the last 1:00 game from yesterday: Falcons Bucks 16-13 defensive game, and Desmond Ritter's first ever win on the road in the NFL.
Good for him.
It was without the sickly Bijan Robinson, and I'm so sorry to everybody in fantasy football, including myself, who were stuck starting Bijan Robinson because you were completely unaware that he was not feeling well because the NFL does not require the coach to release that information before the game, which I found out today from Ian Rappaport. So he was sick because the NFL called today to inquire about why he wasn't on the injury report, and they said he was dealing with an illness. So he didn't have to be – that information didn't have to be released. So everybody in fantasy football, because there's not a soul in the world that probably sat him, you got screwed. Arthur Smith does not care about fantasy football. He does not.
No.
So we've seen it with Kyle Pitts. We just saw it with Bijan. I really hope I can find out if he's feeling better next week. I don't know what he has, so that'd be kind of cool. But for now, oh well. But anyway, Desmond Ridder, a mediocre game. Once again, 19-25, 250 yards, no touchdowns, no picks, sacked only once by the Buccaneers defense. Tyler Algier, 59 yards on the ground. Cordell Patterson, welcome back, 56 yards on the ground. 100 yards on the ground for the Falcons, regardless that Bijan only got 1 carry. Actually, a little more than 100 yards because Desmond Ridder, he's sneakily a good runner of the football.
Yeah, he shows signs of athleticism when he does run the ball.
Yeah, and then just, consistent play from the Falcons on offense. Otherwise, in the Bucs, I don't know. Baker can't win the game by himself. He's not that kind of quarterback. He's not going to be your Josh Allen who doesn't need a ground game. He's not going to be your Patrick Mahomes. Like, he needs a ground game, and they don't have one. If they really want to compete, because they're only a game back, the Falcons just took first place in the NFC South with this win. They're only a game back. If they want to compete, they need to start making some phone calls during the trade deadline here and buy Jordan Addison. Have a good trip. And figure out if there's anyone available for trade for running back. Jeff Wilson, maybe. I don't know if he'd fit the Bucs offense, but they need to figure something out because they just They just don't. They can't continue living with Rachaad White as your running back.
No,
he's not bad out of the backfield as a pass catcher. He's actually pretty decent, but he's not. He can't.
He's not a number one. He's not a number one back.
Dude, that was reverse of earlier when he threw the pick. It hit Addison, and then I don't remember. Ward stole the ball, and that time it hit Ward, and Addison stole the ball, and a shank on the extra point. That's fine. Joseph's very reliable. Everyone misses every now and then, but anyway. So the Bucs really, their problem is the run game. They need it. They need someone to actually help them come in the game and keep Baker comfortable. Baker has to have the ability to hand the ball off. He's been decent this season. He just needs a guy he can lean on a little bit, and they can keep the other team off the field. The best way to keep the other team off the field is run the freaking football, and they don't have anyone that can do that. So. Earlier this season, before the season started, we thought we would be this far into the season talking about a different quarterback. Kyle Trask probably a quarterback at this point. Baker's done good enough. The biggest problem now we're talking about for the Bucs, go ahead and get a running back. I don't have them as one of my 5 teams when we talk about our trade deadline predictions, so I don't know what they can do. I didn't do a lot of research into it, but that's all I can say for them. You want to compete, you want a playoff spot, just go get someone that can run the football. Anyway, sorry, go ahead. I rambled.
Oh no, you're good. I really don't like on this game. I didn't pay much attention to it other than the score. I think obviously this was for first place in the division, right?
Yep. Yeah. It's early, but yeah.
Atlanta has the leg up. I think Atlanta's trending in the right direction. I don't think they're capable of beating the really good teams. I think they're still a few pieces away, but they're showing signs of life. And I think that's good. That's like Tampa Bay is going to be real inconsistent, especially because they have no run game, where like Atlanta has overstock. And you're never going to get any pieces out of Atlanta if you're Tampa Bay. So you got to look elsewhere. I don't think they're in the market for like a very big name back, but like I think what you said about like Jeff Wilson, maybe that helps. He is aging, but yeah, I just think with Baker Mayfield, now Baker is on a 1-year deal, right?
Yes, sir.
And I feel like they're almost too good to be in that conversation for a good college quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, I keep seeing Michael Penix falling to 22 because of injury concerns, because he's been banged up in his career. He's been healthy this season, but he's been banged up in his career. So I keep seeing him come up as injury concerns. So falling all the way to 22, Bucs will definitely pick by then. I just selfishly have been screaming at the top of my lungs that this needs to be a move Green Bay makes, not the Bucs, and we'll have a better draft pick than them. So I'm hoping that's not possible. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think they're going to have a good spot for a quarterback. I agree with you.
So I don't know what they're going to do, like trade deadline wise, but time will tell. Time will tell. Good win for Atlanta. I think we both got this one right. We both took Atlanta here, right?
Yeah, we both said we thought Bijan would impact the game too much. Apparently, we meant Tyler Algier.
He did impact a lot of fantasy games.
Yeah, he screwed me in every aspect that I had him. And in our league, I had him and Calvin Ridley, so I felt great. I felt just phenomenal.
Yeah, that's rough.
Yeah, felt it just. I mean, I had Lamar, but it just felt phenomenal. All right, to the 4:00 games. The first one we picked, Arizona, Seattle. This is the game I paid zero attention to. I will not lie. There was no DK Metcalf. That found out before the game about that. Didn't know that beforehand.
No, we didn't know that at all.
Josh Dobbs has started to really decline as a thrower. He's still really impressive to watch run the football. DeMarcado has maybe actually earned himself the second spot now. After last week, they split a lot of carries, and now this week they went straight back to him. So, I don't know. Maybe they figured it out. Maybe James Conner comes back and these two split time like I predicted a few weeks ago. And then last week I was like, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
I think one of the big things that came out of this game is that the Eagles are losing Nwosu for the rest of the year.
The Seahawks?
Or the Seahawks, my bad, yes.
I did not know that. What happened?
He tore his pectoral.
God damn it. Okay.
So he
Someone in our league go look for an edge rusher. I may or may not have 2 claims on people. Deal with Nwosu. Who's throwing up?
So yeah, he is going to have surgery on that. That came out about an hour and a half ago, so like right before we started.
All right. I'm going to go clean up the cat's throw up, but I will say it's 8-2 Texas over Houston. The Rangers are just coming out to play. And the last thing I want to say about this Arizona-Seattle game before you take the rest is good appearance from Jackson Smith, and I just constantly love to see Jake Bobo get some ball.
Oh, yeah, Jake Bobo obviously going to be used more. When DK Metcalf is out of the lineup, he'll see more targets. Jackson Smith and Jigba had the first touchdown. Bobo had the second. And then the rest of the scoring for the Eagles was 2 Jason Myers field goals. So good to see those players come out. Obviously 20-10, a little closer than I thought this game might end up, but a 10-point game is still a win. The Cardinals really regressing and kind of showing us what they should be, even though the story with them coming out of the gates pretty hot was a nice story. I just think as time goes on, you get more tape and it gets tougher for the teams that are bad and a little easier for the teams that are good until they play each other. I mean, if you look at the full box score here, DeMarcado at 13 for 58. Josh Dobbs ran the ball for 43 himself. Seattle ran the ball a ton. Kenneth Walker, 26 carries for 105 with 4 per carry, had a 25-yard long. Geno Smith, quite serviceable, 18-24, 219, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, took 2 sacks, quarterback rating of 113. Dobbs looked shaky, 19-33, 146, 4.4 average, 4 sacks taken, and a rating of 68.5. And you did see Clayton Tune for 1 throw.
Yeah.
1 for 1.
Yeah.
Other than that, like I said, Seattle did enough. I think the big thing is that losing Nwosu is big, considering he has been a predominant edge rusher in their lineup.
Yeah, he's actually going to be a big loss. I did not know that. I don't know how I missed that news. Well, I was in Gettysburg all day. I honestly didn't see anything. I at one point checked my phone just to see if Brandon Staley got fired.
Well, that's,
literally the only reason I checked my phone at one point. I went straight to Rappaport to see if he had anything about Brandon Staley. I posted that TikTok of me saying that Staley needed to be fired, and I posted the caption. I said, "Sorry, not sorry, Chargers fans. I know it's not going to happen today, but it should have happened." Anyway, Seattle left it closer, but I guess when you're losing Metcalf and you're playing a division rival, so those games are always kind of feisty.
Yeah, like I said, the 10 points was probably closer than I thought it was going to be, but it's still a 10-point win.
2 possession wins, nothing to shake your head at. That's a good win for them. They get to move on, and I don't know who they get to play this week. Seattle, I think I already said it. They get the Browns, actually. And the Cardinals get the Ravens, so not an easy matchup for either of them. A really bad matchup for the Cardinals.
Yeah.
All right, so the next 4 o'clock game, we just talked about Brandon Staley being fired. 31-17, the Chiefs win. I'm going to let you start because I have something to say, and I think you're going to get fired up about it, and I think you're going to go off. So I'm going to let you start with this, and then we'll.
I mean, Mahomes had great numbers for the game, but you're a defensive coach, and you can't get your defense to cover Travis Kelce.
Oh, you're sorry for bothering me, but you want to annoy me. That's nice of you. Freaking kind.
Well done. So Patrick Mahomes was 32 of 42, 424, 4 TDs, 1 interception. with a rating of 129.5. It's like if you look at everything Los Angeles does well, it's all connected to Justin Herbert. Everything else seems to just fall by the wayside. So I think it's funny when people are criticizing Herbert. It's like Herbert's the shining light on this fucking team.
Well, I'm going to trigger Dot then. I'm going to really trigger Dot then. So there will forever be a gap, in my opinion, from now on, unless he really turns his career around. I believe that the people like Mahomes and Lamar will have a light lead on people like Justin Herbert. I have now put Justin Herbert in the category of Josh Allen. The man in clutch moments when his team needs him for 3 weeks now this season, when trailing, trying to drive, has thrown an interception. I understand he's always trailing because of his defense, but the man cannot clutch up. And there is a problem there. And it's driving me nuts.
I can tell you the problem is the same problem Josh Allen has.
He's too ball happy? I don't know.
2 defensive head coaches.
Well, yeah, that's a big problem. Because you saw what happened. Josh Allen cleaned it up real good with Brian Daboll, and then it died when Brian Daboll left.
Yeah, Herbert's never going to get that being a San Diego Charger. He isn't.
Well, and Kellen Moore's not it. I don't care. I love San Diego.
Charger.
But I don't know. Kellen Moore's a decent offensive coordinator, but Dak was turnover prone last year and the year before that. So, I don't see it changing here. I'm not saying Herbert's not great. I still think he's a top 6 quarterback in the NFL. I just think that he needs he might need an offensive guru. Like, people go, well, if you're great, you shouldn't need one. I'm sorry, but who is fucking Patrick Mahomes' quarterback and coach? Oh, that's right. Andy Reid.
Top athletes have sports psychologists. These guys need the best quarterback. If you don't hone your craft, you're never going to get better at it.
Yeah, not everybody's Tom Brady and can live with someone like Bill Belichick. Yes, but he never put up he put up 5,000-yard seasons, but there was never a game where you were consistently holy crap, Tom Brady is just throwing out there 400-yard games and 4 touchdowns. Tom Brady was just great at what he did. But people Patrick Mahomes doesn't need an offensive-minded guy. How can you say that when he came from Cliff Kingsbury in college to Andy Reid?
Right. You have some of the best offensive minds coaching you.
Yeah, you're right, because I didn't think about the Josh Allen effect. So you're right. You need especially young while you're learning the league. It helps to have an offensive-minded guy help you out. But I don't know. I'm right now. I'm waiting for Justin Herbert to take the corner and become a clutch quarterback. He's great up until that moment. He's phenomenal. And the Chiefs, I'm sorry. Not Chiefs. The Chargers, I'm sorry, but the fact that you're keeping Brandon Staley around more and more is just saying you do not care about this team. I continue to hope you fail at selling home tickets, and I continue to hope the Chargers fans do not actually go to your games, because you do not care if you're letting a guy who is supposed to be a defensive genius fail at coaching a team defensively. He's your defensive coordinator, for fuck's sake.
And it's week in and week out. It ain't even close.
Patrick Mahomes just put up 424 yards and 4 touchdowns against you. How does someone go into a game with a safety like Derwin James and let Travis Kelce go for 175 yards? What did you do? You didn't even put Derwin James on the man. What? Brandon Staley is such a joke in the NFL.
If this is telling, right? Passing yards, Chargers 8th in the league. Justin Herbert. And now he's missing his deep threat.
Yeah, I will say Josh Palmer is a hell of a player, though.
No. Josh Palmer is a great player. Rushing yards, they're 111.8 per game. That's best for 16th in the league, so dead in the middle.
Dead in the middle. Yeah.
Points for 24th, tied for 11th. Oh yeah, and points against 25.8, 25th in the league. When you're a defensive head coach, and you're in the bottom quarter of the league in defense, yeah, I might have some questions.
Yeah, and you've played offenses like the Titans and the why did Amazon Prime just pop up on my phone? The Titans and the Raiders this season. You've played offenses like that, and you still are 25th in the league in points allowed.
Chargers, yards per game, 31st, only to be bested by the Denver Broncos, who gave up 70 to Miami.
Yep. Just pulled it up. 32nd against the pass, too.
Yep. So go ahead and tell me you're a defensive head coach that should be fired.
Yeah, this is a joke. I mean, honestly, it's crazy. Sunday morning we make picks. I'm going to struggle with Sunday Night Football. Chargers Bears is going to be a struggle for me because of this defense. It's just stupid to say. Congrats to the Chiefs, though. I will say this again: if you play, I'm excited to see them play the Bills in a few weeks. I'm excited to see them play the Bengals, and I'm really excited to see them play the Ravens when they get to the playoffs. I don't know what the Chiefs are going to do if they can't pass because they can't run the football. They could not run the football yesterday. When they tried, they couldn't do it. And that is a problem. But otherwise, they're really, I mean, their defense is incredible. Their offense is, with Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce, their offense is never going to struggle. And Mecole Hardman stepped right back in and looked, him and MVS are going to be a problem because Mecole Hardman opens up.
Got him, right? Like, because he would just slot right in.
That, and he just opens up the other receiver. Like right now, there was no problem because MVS couldn't get comfortable. He is your number one. Like, he's going to be their number one because he is the best physical and speed threat they have. But now you get a speed threat in Hardman where you've got to respect the other side. So Mahomes trusts two people now instead of only one. So, look, the Chiefs are going to continue to move forward. That defense is too damn good. And the Patrick Mahomes is too damn good. So, I'm so angry about Brandon Staley still being a coach. Chiefs play the Broncos this week, so another easy win. By the way, the Broncos haven't beat them in 18 matchups. So, and the Chargers play the Bears on Sunday Night Football.
Well, listen, the Jets have never beaten the Eagles.
I'm not saying ever. I mean, 18 last matchups, but yeah. You know what? We don't know because you know what? Let's just get into this shit show of a game. I'm going to let you go first. 17-19, Denver beats Green Bay.
Yeah, I think it's telling of Green Bay's offense. I mean, it is. I don't think you can really blame the defense in a game where you only gave up 19. There's obviously some issues, but I think the biggest problem is that the Packers just can't score points like they used to. So you can't live on like that defense anymore. Jordan Love seems to be regressing heavily. I mean, 21 of 31 for 180. That's rough. He did have the 2 touchdowns, but he had 1 interception. They're just not what they used to be. I mean, his long pass was only 29 yards. So it's in Denver, you never know what you're going to get. I feel like Green Bay should have won this game. And it's not there. It's just, I don't know. It's hard for me to talk about because I know it's your team, so you probably have a lot more to say.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, you can take it from there. Denver did enough to win, but it really wasn't that much.
Okay, all right. So here's a simple thing. There's no fight in this team except for on defense, and that means not the run defense because the run defense is, I think, the worst in the NFL. Bottom 3, I don't fucking know. Terrible. Can't stop anybody. A wet noodle could run against the Green Bay Packers. Aaron Jones said he was feeling better than he's ever felt, and then we run him 8 times, so I guess that was a lie. A.J. Dillon got the lead back, so I'm sorry to the guy we told not to trust A.J. Dillon yesterday because he was also the leading receiver because Jordan Love can't throw a fucking football. I could throw the ball up and hit it with my dick better than Jordan Love can throw a football. Should I pick up Josh Palmer? Oh, God. Palmer because he's gonna be he is the number 2 with the Chargers.
Yeah,
Downs. Look, Downs is the number 2 technically too, but Gardner Minshew is Gardner Minshew. I trust Herbert more.
Yeah, Herbert's the better quarterback, so Downs is going to see more action. Or not Downs, Palmer's going to see more action.
Let me Colts check their schedule quick, though, in case the Colts have a really favorable schedule coming up, because Downs is currently going off. So give me a second. They get the Saints this week, probably not favorable. Then the Panthers, that's favorable, but then the Patriots, that's not. Bye week. Bucks, actually a pretty good game for them. Titans, good game for them. Then the Bengals, Steelers, no. I'm going to say Palmer, but it's tough. It is tough because I picked up Downs in every league, but I had extra bench space thanks to Kyren Williams going on the IR. So I had that luxury. I didn't start him this week, which I regret. But no, I would go Palmer just because I think he'll have the more consistent numbers. Downs could have games where he's like 3 catches for 30 yards. I think Palmer will stay consistent. D'Onta Foreman's hard because I don't know the running back situation there because he should have earned the number 1 role, right? Like you would assume he won the number 1 role this week.
Hard.
But Khalil Herbert, I don't know how long he's on the IR. I don't know if it's a 4-week injury. I think it is because they said he was leaning towards IR before he got IR'd, so I assume that means 4 weeks. And when Roschon Johnson comes back next week, or this week on Sunday Night Football, how much is he going to influence the game for D'Onta Foreman? Those are the things you're going to have to look for because he's going to get 2 running backs back eventually. Palmer's staying the number 2 because Mike Williams is out for the year. And Downs is staying the number 2 because, the Colts straight up don't have anybody better. D'Onta Foreman's only if you have an extra spot. I would take that shot for now. But, again, this Sunday, Roschon Johnson should be back because he was questionable for this Sunday and actually was getting close to playing. So I think he'll be in this week. I like D'Onta Foreman a lot. I actually think he should have been their back all along because Khalil Herbert's good, but Khalil Herbert, we see what David Montgomery's doing with the Lions, right? Everybody sees it. He's the physical bruiser between the tackles, which is what Khalil Herbert's not, and D'Onta Foreman is. And the Bears need that. They need the punch in the face. It'll make Fields a lot better. Having the punch in the face behind him makes you get tired and worn down and lets Justin Fields control the game. I think he should be their back, but he's not going to be. No, maybe. Maybe they say they lean on him because he was hot. But right now, I think Palmer's the best bet.
Yeah,
that was a lot. But
no, I would suggest the same thing.
Anyway, unless you have another one, because you can ask as many questions as you need. Back to this game. You said 2 touchdowns. I just want to clarify. Jordan Love pump faked his own wide receiver, and then when his receiver ran, he threw it behind the receiver because he hesitated. And thankfully, Romeo Doubs at least got a hand on it, and it tipped in the air to be a touchdown. Otherwise, honestly, it would have been only 1 touchdown and 2 interceptions because he actually fooled himself, just to clarify. And I'm done. The season's over. Pack it up, Green Bay. Jair Alexander, if you're feeling a little bit of pain, you already signed the long-term deal. Get healthy and sit. Do the David Bakhtiari thing. I'm done. And honestly, another game like this, just put in Sean Clifford. You drafted him in the 4th round this year. Just see what he is. Even if he's not good, see what he is. Because Jordan Love, you don't have him long-term. He's only on this deal. So just at the end of the year, if neither of them work, you move the hell on.
Yeah.
Because I know I've seen Packers fans going, it's only been 6 games. Calm down. Everybody in Green Bay needs to calm down. No, you can see things, though, after 6 games, and you're not seeing anything.
Yeah, you're not seeing improvement.
We had a chance to win that game. It was 3rd and 20 from their 42-yard line. You need maybe 8 yards for Anders Carlson to kick a field goal. He's already made 4 50-yarders this season. You mean maybe 8 yards? And he throws a Hail Mary deep ball with 26 seconds left to double coverage.
Yeah, into double coverage.
I was like, what are you doing? So he throws the pick to cost them the chance to win the game. I'm just done. I'm done with him. I don't even know who we get this coming week. The Vikings, actually. I already knew that. So we get stomped in Green Bay.
Just to confirm your suspicion about them being a limp noodle on rushing defense, They are 30th in the league with only Carolina and Denver behind them.
Well, the good news is we play the Vikings, who can't run the football this Sunday, but they're going to throw all over us because, yes, they don't have Justin Jefferson, so maybe Jordan Addison struggles, but Hawkinson will go off for like 180 yards. So, and Dummy will throw probably about 3 picks. So he's 4th in the league right now in interceptions. So good for him. After starting the first 2 weeks with 6 touchdowns and no picks, he's got now 7 picks. So good for him.
Yeah.
All right, that's my tangent about the shit Bay Packers. The last 4:00 game, Rams, Steelers, wound up being a really close game. I know we thought it was going to be, but like in my gut, I was like, if Cooper Kupp, I mean, he was literally eliminated from this game, but if Cooper Kupp and Nakua went off, I was like, this is going to be a blowout. But they did what they needed to do and stop Cooper Kupp, and George Pickens went off, and it wound up being a good game for the Steelers.
I mean, Kenny Pickett was bad for 45 minutes.
He's bad every game for 45 minutes. If you haven't noticed, he's made like 3 fourth quarter wins. I don't know what
quarterback. It makes no sense. Like, bro, do what you're doing there early in the game. Like, you're fine in the fourth quarter. What the fuck are you doing for the other 3 quarters?
He's so good the fourth quarter, and I'm like, I don't know where this comes from.
He was 17 of 25 with 230 yards. No touchdowns, no interceptions. Took 2 sacks for 16 yards. Serviceable. Like, just don't give the ball away.
Yeah.
I think the biggest problem with Pittsburgh's offense, other than that, is stop giving the ball to Najee Harris.
Yeah, look, I know he had the touchdown in this game, but again, he was outrun, outplayed. He was still slower to watch. Jaylen Warren is just the better running back.
It's time to Warren be the number one. Use Najee 100%. Like the goal line meatball.
100%. 100%.
It doesn't make any sense.
Mike Tomlin has him on his dynasty fantasy team, so he's just trusted Najee will turn it around. I don't know. I really don't know. But the Rams
had 5 catches, 79 yards.
Who?
Deontay Johnson.
Oh, good. We told that guy to start him in PPR league, so he got 12 points for him. Good.
Yeah, not a bad start.
But yeah, I guess Darrell Henderson's the back next week. I don't know. 18 carries to 12, 61 yards though, only when the other one got 66. But Darrell Henderson did get 2 pass catches or targets, I should say, and had the touchdown. So I right now I would say they're going to probably use him as the primary and Royce Freeman as the 2. But they're probably going to be about a 65-35, 60-40 split. So I actually think you'll still see both.
Yeah.
Stafford, he's middling out. He really is just kind of has his good games, and then he's just kind of an average quarterback at this point in his career. But after all the injuries and the banged-up career he's had, we're going to get what we get with him now in LA. So I will admit, I don't like the fact that it seems like they can't figure out how to get the ball to more than one receiver.
Yeah, that's
last week it was Kupp. Nakua only had 2 catches. This week, Nakua had 8 for 154 yards. Kupp only had 2 catches. It doesn't feel good to see a team struggle to figure out how to distribute the football.
Right.
But if you think about it, Stafford is the guy who Kupp and Calvin Johnson, most receptions all time in a single season. Both were thrown by Matt Stafford, so he just tends to throw to a guy. It's kind of just how his forte is. But if they can figure out a little more distribution, I think they might get about 5 or 6 more points a game on average. So just see what happens, I guess, with the Rams. They're just a work in progress at this point. I don't know how long they're going to keep Aaron Donald from retiring. I don't know how long Sean McVay is going to stick around and not go to a booth for a short period of time. Hell, I don't know how long Stafford's going to be around. So the Rams are a real big curious thing going forward. But at 3-4, I don't think they have much of a hope this season. I'm not saying 3-4 is uncomeback. Like, it's not insurmountable. But they just don't have that. They don't have that thing to them. There's nothing like, oh, this team could actually be a playoff team. They're just a good – I think they're one of those good teams that could battle a playoff spot, but I think they're one of those, like, that might actually cost someone a playoff spot by beating them late instead of making the playoffs.
Yeah. They can be more of like a spoiler style team.
Yeah, but Steelers 4-2 somehow. Mike Tomlin is
he gets dudes to buy in, right?
I don't understand it. I don't every year. I don't get it. I'm like, the Steelers are done finally.
Well,
this is it.
Here's the thing, right? So if you take the Steelers and the Chargers and you line them up next to each other, the difference between the Steelers and the Chargers, Tomlin is a defensive coach. His defensive players get better and his defense is always good. Okay. You suffer generally with a defensive head coach, you suffer in offensive line and quarterback because of that. Now, the Steelers definitely have that problem, but their defense is so damn good, it masks that problem.
Yeah, 100%. No, you're spot on.
It's the difference between the Steelers and the Chargers.
Because if you hand someone that's like, say you're players in the NFL, but say you're a diehard, I got to pick a team here that's intelligent to pick, Bears fan. So you might not know the names of the Steelers players outside of a couple. You might not know the Chargers players outside of a couple. But if you put them like blind and just go, look at these players on this depth chart, who do you think has the better roster? I guarantee 95% of fans say the Chargers are the better team. But you look at the results, and it's 100% what you just said. Yes, you have a defensive head coach, so you're going to struggle at quarterback. We've seen it over and over and over again. Yes, you have a really kind of porous offensive line, which, again, defensive head coach kind of results in that. But like you said, the defense does so much and disrupts so much of the game for the other team that your offense just has to be decent. Imagine Justin Herbert if his defense could do what they do. They would probably go fucking 14-3.
As I predicted. PPR.
You trade Josh Jacobs and oh God. K9's Kenneth Walker, right? I think.
Josh Jacobs.
I have to abstain from this. I bounce up and down on DJ Moore's wiener. I can't answer this. I can't. I traded Patrick Mahomes for him. I mean, not just him. I got David a chain too, but still.
Ooh. I'm trying to think here.
I mean, he doesn't need Jacobs at running back. He's got Kenneth Walker, DeAndre Swift, Breece Hall.
Right. So
he would be getting Jamar Chase to add to Olave and Kupp instead of the potential inconsistency of DJ Moore. He's top 6 in fantasy right now, but with Bagnett potentially starting another week and not throwing the ball a lot, it is a concern. Jamar Chase just finished his bye week, right? So you get him the rest of the season. That's huge. Jamar Chase gets the Niners this week. Oh, Jesus. And then the Bills. And the Texans, the Ravens, and the Steelers.
It's a rough schedule.
But he's still Jamar Chase, right? Like he's still gonna go.
Yeah. I mean, I probably would take it considering who you have for your other backs and wide receivers. Gives you the flexibility of putting Olave in a more flex position, because Kupp's going to get his numbers, right? I mean, it's showing. I would take the trade. I would make the trade. DJ Moore, yes.
What is that? I don't even know how to answer that one.
Hey guys, trade question. It's Harry interested. If not, I'll go make more.
I would take the Jamar Chase trade just because I think Jamar Chase will outperform DJ the rest of the season slightly, very slightly. I will say that, but I honestly, I would stick with that. I think Jamar Chase is too big of an upgrade, especially since you don't need Josh Jacobs the rest of the season. Breece Hall's coming off of a bye this week, so you get him the rest of the year.
Yeah, I I think it's too hard to pass up. I would take
Kenneth
Jamar
Walker's
Chase.
already had his bye as well, so you get those two the rest of the year. You don't need Josh Jacobs at that point. Unless one of them goes down, which would be terrible. Trust me, I don't want that to happen. But those two are already done with buys. So
outside of injury, you don't lose them.
And you get another one in return that's done with buy and Jamar Chase. You literally get and DJ has a playoff right before the playoffs is his bye week 13. So I would take the deal. And I don't even know what to say about the guy asking for more tunnels. I don't understand.
Well, they said they have a trade question, but we're open to questions. Just put it in the chat.
Oh, okay. I was like, what? Yeah, go ahead. Ask the trade question. I was like, I don't know. Are they playing Minecraft?
I think they're just making a pun about it being a bit hairy because they are a gopher, you know.
Okay. I was like, you playing Minecraft and making tunnels? I don't know. Pittman or Rashee Rice and a running back piece for A-Chain, or leave my team. Oh, God, Lord. Well, A-Chain will be back in 2 weeks. We would really need to know your other receivers and your other running backs to know if it's worth it. Pittman, I don't know. His connection with Minshew really hasn't been there. Unless I'm crazy. I don't think I've seen him do as much. I'm pulling it up now. 2 catches for 83 yards. One was a 75 yard. So he had 1 catch for 8 yards outside of that 83 or 75 yarder.
Have Reek, Puka, Pittman, Rice, and Bourne.
So you have Tyreek, Puka, and Kendrick Bourne. So you would be looking to get A-Chain. You want to move either Pittman or Rice. I would move Rice because I liked Rice a lot. If you could move Rice and a piece, so who are your other running backs? Because you said and a running back piece. But if you can move Rice right now with Hardman coming back, I think we just saw it this week. Hardman there is going to give him more targets than anyone else. And I think we're going to see Marquez Valdes-Scantling. I think we're going to see him get more into the offense because last year he was more relevant when Hardman was there. Now Hardman's back and he immediately became relevant. I actually thought Rashee Rice should have been their number one until they went out and got Hardman and made everything confused. But I don't like Rice's situation anymore being the number 3 in a team that only throws to 2 or 3 guys total. And one is always going to be Kelce. If you can move Madison and Rice and get A-Chain, you're winning the game.
I think you're winning that trade.
Madison ain't it. He ain't it.
No.
Cut ties with him as fast as you can.
He's kind of like a Mixon, but a 2.
And we saw this week that, and I'm not saying Mostert's not phenomenal because last week he looked great, but against good teams, the Dolphins need A-Chain to be there with Mostert. We saw it this week.
He's so dynamic.
Yeah.
So
I don't want my guy going Bill Murray on my
makes sense. But yeah, I mean if you can pull that off and get A-Chain in return, for sure, I would take that trade.
Yeah. I wouldn't take Madison, but if he's willing, it's worth it. And even if you lose Algier, it's still worth it in the end because Algier's value went up this week. But again, when Bijan's actually not sick, I assume that's actually the truth out of Arthur Smith. When Bijan's not sick, he's still going to make Algier's carries go pretty significantly down. So I still think it's too big of an upgrade. You're only 2 weeks away from A-Chain coming back and tearing the league apart again.
Yeah, he's going to do damage anytime he gets the ball. So
yeah. And Rice just isn't worth it right now. I like I said, like you said, you love Rice. I love Rice. I love Rashee Rice. I just think that unfortunately for him, the Chiefs are in that situation where kind of like Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes doesn't really build the relationships in the preseason because he doesn't really play much in the preseason or if at all. And Rashee Rice didn't get that opportunity. And after a few weeks, he didn't trust his receivers. So they went out and got him one. So.
Yeah, and honestly, they may move some picks for another piece with the deadline upcoming.
DeAndre Hopkins is very likely to be moved, and I very strongly think Kansas City might be interested.
Yeah,
Especially after Philly went out and was like, "Ooh, Julio," even though I don't know what the point of that was, but
yeah, that's kind of strange to me. I was like, why would they sign him? But okay.
8-2 for those who are curious. Bottom of the fifth, Astros have a runner on first with one out. Still 8-2 in favor of the Texas Rangers. So it looks like it's going to be Rangers Phils. Wait, no. I guess that we don't know. It's going to be the Phils. But I think it will be. I think they'll bounce back game 7. But no, we love that question. That was actually a really good, if you can get it type situation. And it was a little risky moving someone like Rashid, but I think he's the one to move. I don't think you move Pittman just because he has more guaranteed being the number 1 receiver than Rashee Rice is.
Yeah, Pittman's the one. So, yeah.
Even with what Josh Downs is doing, they're not going to make the rookie number 1.
No.
All right, our last game to talk about is Sunday Night Football. Eagles Dolphins 31-17, same exact score as Chargers Chiefs.
Philly just kind of wore out the Miami defense.
Yeah, I think Miami is going to be, and we saw the Miami offense really not get fully clicking. Jalen Waddle being in and out hurt over and over again multiple times with back spasms didn't help. But I think we see it with the Bills, and we saw it with the Eagles. The Dolphins are going to struggle against those teams who will just play physical, hard, grindy football. And the Dolphins' offensive line is really a problem. Tua is going to struggle against these teams that can pass rush because their offensive line could not protect him. Josh Sweat, Jalen Carter, the other guy from Georgia last year, the defensive tackle, they were all over him. He just couldn't. He couldn't. And Hassan Reddick, sorry, I don't want to ever forget Hassan Reddick. I know the commentators kind of acted like he was random. But Hassan Reddick is a monster. A.J. Brown just broke the record for the most consecutive games with 150 yards or more, or 120 yards or more.
125.
There you
go.
Oh, thank you. We appreciate it a lot, Gopher.
Thank you, Gopher.
We really appreciate it. We're just newish on YouTube, so we really appreciate it. And we're always here to answer any fantasy questions, trades, just comments about players, questions about injury status. We have a little bit of inside information still, so we get a little bit of help. But anyway, Jalen Hurts with another pick. It is concerning me with the fumble and the pick. He's still a little turnover happy this season.
Yeah, that one was it was that the one with the tip?
Yes,
I think it was tipped. Like the guy read it real, like played it real proper. I'm pretty sure.
Hold on, I'm looking for it. Yeah.
So yes, because he kind of just tried to throw it where he should have just bailed on the throw. But what you saw time and time again was Philly plays 3rd and 9 or 4th and 1, and you can't stop them on 4th and 1.
Well, that and yeah, I mean, like I said, it's the tush push thing is. Part of it, I would say about 40% of its success comes from the man that bench or squats 400 pounds that plays quarterback in Jalen Hurts. 600?
He squats 600 pounds.
Okay. And then the other 60% of that success comes from the brother of the Kelseys in Jason. I believe Jason 100% is the reason that is so successful. He is so good at snapping and getting low immediately. It's so incredible to watch sometimes when you just
if other teams could be as good at it, they do it. And they don't.
Yeah, and it's not because of the quarterback strength. I'm not saying they're all Jalen Hurts strong, but we've seen some pretty big quarterbacks not be able to pull it off. It's a large part of it. It's just how good Jason Kelce is. Like, people don't appreciate the fact that not only has he been the center for the Eagles since he came into the NFL, he's honestly potentially one of the top two greatest centers in NFL history. When you watch him and how good he is at blocking, signal calling from the center position, everything, leadership, his availability, he's never hurt. Like everything about Jason Kelce makes that Eagles offense click. And then DeAndre Swift is still DeAndre Swift.
Yeah. They had Lane Johnson on a bum ankle. He gave up his first sack in 2 years.
Yeah. Granted, Jalen Phillips is a monster.
Yeah, Jalen Phillips is Jalen Phillips, and he is scary. So to give it up to that, I mean, that guy was working Johnson. Johnson on a bum ankle at that, and yeah, he gave up a sack. But I mean, they get their line play on that team on both lines is just outrageous.
Yeah. So Philly's not. Last week I was like, might be a little bit of trouble, but I think they're going to balance. I think they'll be all right. I think they'll be a top 3-4 team. I still don't know because I'm having a hard time. This game is making this hard for me. Like this Niners game is.
They're worse than last year, right? Like the Eagles.
Yeah, they're worse than last. Well, defensively, especially. They entered this game. Hold on. Let's go to this real quick. They play, by the way, the Commanders this week. So they're 18th against the pass this season. They're best against the rush, but they're 18th against the pass. They're 14th in the league in points per game allowed. It's just so much worse than it was last year defensively. And then offensively, they're 9th passing, 5th rushing, 4th in points, 2nd in third down conversion, 3rd in points scored. They're fine on offense.
They're probably
Jalen Hurts
in 4th down conversions.
They have to be.
Well, actually, they try so often. I mean, they never get stopped. So,
yeah, I think they said he's only been stopped 4 times total in his career. I'm like, oh, okay, that's freaking incredible. That's that Michigan stat, man. I still am mind blown by the fact that that stat I told you, where they have scored more defensive touchdowns than their defense is allowed. That is just and they're 8 weeks into the college season. That's just amazing. And now they're getting in trouble for signal stealing. So I don't know. But no, the Eagles, good job for the Eagles. I was really impressed. I picked the Dolphins in this game. Admittedly, I made a mistake here. I thought the Dolphins offense was just going to be too fast. And again, we just saw what we see with the Bills and Dolphins. It's just too physical. They can't pass through it. I would like to see this game again if David Achane was in the game. Maybe the running game gets involved. But the Eagles came out and said, we realize that the reason the Dolphins are so hard to stop is because they can run the ball. So you have to respect the run, which means your safety has to creep in, your linebacker has to creep in, which means Tyreek Hill gets behind you. The Eagles in this game said, we're going to stop the run so we don't have to worry about it. And They did exactly that, and they limited Tyreek Hill. I know it's hard to say limited when you have 11 catches, 88 yards, and a touchdown, but they limited him. He didn't.
And he dropped one that was a touchdown. That one that he put off his own knee.
Yep. He just never fully got explosively exciting in this game.
With Waddle in and out, then you really don't have to worry about that as much.
Yeah, the Eagles did what they had to do. The Dolphins they'll continue to be great against non-physical teams. They're going to continue to struggle against physical teams. Yeah. They play the Patriots this week. It's in Miami, so they'll probably win that because the Patriots can't play football in Miami. But again, in 2 weeks, we get the Dolphins in Germany against the Chiefs. So we'll actually get to see Chiefs-Dolphins. The Chiefs are a good defense, but they're not very physical. So this will actually be a very interesting matchup.
Yeah.
I don't know. I had a really good time watching Sunday Night Football. I love that we are getting people in here to ask fantasy questions. It means so much to me and Dot. We love fantasy football.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah.
And we did this to honestly talk to other people about football and sports, not just football, other sports, but football is the most popular in America. So,
but we'll talk any sport, to be honest. So,
yeah, I mean, we were talking rugby earlier today, and not a lot of people do that. And we talk hockey, we talk basketball. We'll talk anything. Dot loves golf. For those new viewers who don't know, they'll talk some golf.
You're the NASCAR guy. I'm the golf guy, and
I got my little steering wheel. Yeah, no, I love me some racing. To be honest, I love me some wrestling too. I going to WrestleMania this year. I'm so excited.
There you go.
John Cena might be there. The Rock might be there.
Well, if John Cena's there, how are you going to see him?
I won't.
Exactly.
It'll be Philly. They'll just start throwing things at an invisible thing, and I'll know it. It's in Philly at Lincoln Financial, so they'll just start booing some random invisible guy, and I'll have an idea. They booed Santa Claus.
Sounds like Philly.
Yeah, sports. That's why we love it. Sports are it's family. It's a community. It's something to pour your passion into that other people can be passionate with you, and it just doesn't make you feel dumb. Like, look, Dot's a Patriots fan. He's suffering right now, right? I'm a Packers fan, you missed me going a rant about how bad I hate what we're doing right now in Green Bay, but I still love it. I can't stop watching the game. I don't care. I know we're going to play this Vikings team, and Jordan Addison's making me shit myself, and I'm just all right. I'm like, all right. But he's making my fantasy team potentially win, even with Calvin Ridley and Bijan Robinson in my starting lineup this week. He still might get me a win.
That's good.
He's going off today, and Lamar went off yesterday, which helped a lot. All right, so we have, before we get out of here, we have 5 trade scenarios we're going to give you that we think might happen. Both of us have 5. Give me your first. I'm curious.
I've been a little bold with mine because I think I think some people are gonna not desperate, but I think there's, and I think we do this every year with the trade deadline in the NFL, like, or deadlines in general in any league. Like, we get really excited and then nothing really happens, nothing of note.
You know what? Baseball raised the stakes this year. Football's got to catch up. You know, we saw a lot of big names get moved in baseball at the deadline this year. I think last year was only one big trade in football. So, yeah, I think you're right. But, well, let's play the game.
So, with that being said, my first trade deadline scenario is that the Vikings don't actually move anybody.
Okay. I think if they win the game today, that's actually very realistic because I think they're going to see a potential path to.
Yeah, I don't think they become sellers. I just don't. Like, I'm looking, like we were talking about. What was it, Danielle Hunter?
Yeah.
Ooh,
is that Cam Akers?
I don't see it happening, especially if they win tonight, definitely not. But even then, I don't see it happening. I don't think they move anybody. So that's my number one scenario for right now.
All right. My number one is the 49ers trade for DeAndre Hopkins.
Really?
I think Debo's injury is going to be worse than people think. And I think they're going to go ahead and get themselves a true number one receiver besides 2 speed guys.
I mean, I wonder what money they have. I mean, they're not paying their quarterback. He's like the 35th highest paid backup quarterback in the league.
He gets paid Tyson Bagnet money, which is hilarious.
Yeah, dude, he makes like $895,000 a year.
Pulling it up. Give me a second.
DeAndre Hopkins, though? I mean,
I don't think they're going to go for a guy that's younger. I think they're going to go for a guy they can. Hold on.
I mean, he commands a lot of money.
All right. So it might be a little unrealistic unless they move money, but they can move Sam Darnold.
Oh.
They have $1.7 million, so they would have to move somebody.
Yeah, they'd have to. Or get Tennessee to eat a bunch of it.
But if Tennessee's selling, they're going to want picks. And DeAndre Hopkins is their biggest piece because Derrick Henry is slowing down this season, minus 1 big game. So I don't know if his value at a 28-year-old running back is going to go as high. Don't. I don't even want to hear about it. If you're talking about what I just saw, I don't want to hear about it.
Hawkinson?
I don't want to hear about it. In our league, he is my tight end, and my other one is Jonnu Smith, and I don't want to rely on Jonnu Smith because I already have to in one.
All I know is that it looked like his ankle got rolled up on from behind, and it didn't look.
Yeah, and he was holding the top of his foot, which is normally a bad sign when you roll your ankle. So no, I'm Gucci. I'm Gucci. I'm thinking he got hurt. Right. No, but I think the Niners are buyers for a receiver. I don't think they need anything else. I think they need a true number one receiver. I love Ayuk, but he's not a physical go get the physical ball that he's going to throw up if like he can't throw the ball up and have someone go get it. Ayuk and Debo are not big giant guys. They're just flash guys. They need a big guy.
What about like Jerry Jeudy or Cortland Sutton?
It could work. Cortland Sutton's more realistic because I think he's more affordable. But I just think DeAndre Hopkins is very interesting to someone like Kyle Shanahan. That's not good. No weight. Walking off with. 8 receptions for 80 yards on the day, and there he goes. Well, thank you for my 16 fantasy points. Though
Now-
my 50-cent DraftKings bet had you scoring a touchdown tonight, and that just went out the window.
Okay. Okay. I think going into the deadline, Seattle goes after somebody like Brian Burns.
100%. I wouldn't have believed it until you told me today about Owusu or Woso or whatever.
Owusu, yeah.
I honestly think that's the guy. I think you give Carolina more picks so they can keep rebuilding, and you get Brian Burns' contract out of Carolina, and I think Seattle's the perfect landing place. I love that one. Love that one. That's a really good one. Really, really like that. All right. Mine's a little bit of a homer move. Kind of. Not really, because I don't really want this to happen, but I think it might because we're cash strapped. I think the Green Bay Packers trade Aaron Jones. He's a big contract. And I think they know they need a little bit more draft capital to finish the rebuild.
Okay. I can see that.
Availability is also part of a talent, right? And availability hasn't been there, and Hawkinson's already back on the field.
So where did you say they ship him?
I didn't say.
Okay.
I have a couple teams I've thought about. One of them I just want personally because I think it would make them almost a guarantee to win the Super Bowl. But one of them for me, are you fucking kidding me? That's not Jordan Addison, right? Like, I'm crazy.
Yes, it is.
I'm crazy, right? Like, I didn't just watch my tight end come back on the field at the sacrifice of my wide receiver. Like, that didn't just happen. Okay. Anyway. Okay, so I have 3 locations I think Aaron Jones could wind up in because I think they're going to be playoff teams that would be making a move for someone like him that still has 2 years left on his deal. That's going to cost you a little bit of money, but gives you a guy who can, if he's healthy, really change your game. And there's a couple playoff teams that really don't have ground games. I think the number one team that, if they're really going to look to upgrade their team, that should do the deal is the Cincinnati Bengals. I think you put him with Mixon and that team becomes as unstoppable in offense as they were 2 years ago. I think that there's another team in the same division. I think the Baltimore Ravens would be a big move for Aaron Jones, would be really good for them because, yes, Gus Edwards is okay, but Gus Edwards and Aaron Jones is better than Gus Edwards and Justice Hill. And J.K. Dobbins' contract's coming up. They're not going to re-sign him, most likely. Let's be realistic. A torn ACL last year, a torn Achilles this year. How much are you going to keep relying on this kid to be healthy when he's not been healthy? And running back, as we've seen, is very replaceable. And the other team is my fantasy team to hope that gets him because their running back, as much as I love him in his second year, he's done nothing, is the Houston Texans.
Yes.
It's a fantasy, but it's, Dameon Pierce has done nothing this season. So part of me's like, maybe.
Okay. I can see it. Okay. Who do I go with? Going back to the wide receiver conversation we were kind of having. I think either one or two of these scenarios do play out. So they kind of go hand in hand. But I think Carolina might, depending on what they do with this, like I said, if they trade Burns, I think what they do is they actually use some of that capital to get another wide receiver. Maybe somebody like a Judy or a Sutton.
Okay.
Because the only other person I can think that really those guys go to, is maybe like the Texans. One of them goes to the Texans.
I meant to say this. Sorry. Another team, maybe we mentioned it earlier, that might be able to trade for Aaron Jones. Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay was. You know what's funny is one of mine is for Tampa Bay with a running back, but it's not that guy. But yeah, that's why I didn't say anything. But I think Tampa Bay has a good spot for running back.
Yeah.
Mine's a little bigger name, but
I like yours, Carolina. I like that a lot. Okay, so hold on. I gotta pull up my phone because I have mine on my phone and I don't know. I can't memorize my third one for some reason.
The other wide receiver out there, I don't think many people are talking about just because you haven't seen him. Who would be like a low cost addition would be like a Darnell Mooney.
I agree, but I think he's actually a really big upgrade for a lot of teams.
And Marquise Brown might be on the market.
That's my third one, actually. I just don't remember. I'm trying to figure out who I had it to. Oh, okay. So I have that the Chiefs trade for Hollywood Brown.
Oh, that's a good one because
I believe the Chiefs trade a 4th round pick for Hollywood Brown.
They were a team when you said the D-Hop thing, but I think he's too costly for them.
With Chris Jones's deal and Kelsey and Mahomes, I just didn't even do the math, but I was like, I don't know how you're going to pull it off. But you got to pay Creed Humphrey next year, the best center in the NFL behind Jason Kelsey. So, like,
yeah. No, that would be a very good move for them, in my opinion. As long as they can make it work, he's not quite a top end alpha, but on that team, he's definitely going to be your one, or could be.
Imagine Mahomes throwing the ball to him 25 yards down the field. Goodbye.
Yeah, that's what's scary about that.
I know when he was told Baltimore didn't even tell him he was being traded, but I know that like the reason he was okay in Arizona is like going to Arizona is because they were college best friends, him and Kyler Murray. They were roommates. They were like great friends at Oklahoma. So I know he loves it there, but I also know he wants a ring, and Kyler Murray's not Patrick Mahomes. So who would you rather have throwing you the ball? So that was my 3 was Hollywood goes to Kansas City.
Yeah. No, that's a good one. All right. So I wholeheartedly believe the Patriots will trade offensive tackle Trent Brown before the end of the year, or before the trade, or by the trade deadline.
Do you have anyone in mind?
There's a couple teams I could see that could use him. Teams that need help there that can afford him.
Then obviously they're going to be playoff teams, right? You're not going to trade for an offensive lineman.
Yeah, unless... I would think maybe like the Lions. But, I mean, what about like the Steelers?
I actually think that would be the team that I would love to see get someone like Trent Brown or any offensive lineman. I also would love to see the Falcons do it because Desmond Ridder is not great, but he's not terrible behind an offensive line. He just doesn't have one. They're ranked 26th.
Could the Texans call up and be like, hey,
people are sleeping on the fact that they could be a competitor in this division.
The Rams could be a competitor. I mean, they're
for the wild card for sure.
So
I don't think they're keeping up with the Niners, but yeah, the wild card. I think the Rams actually could compete if they could protect Matt Stafford to throw the ball, and if Kyron Williams could come back after his Notre Dame his Notre Dame deal.
His Notre Dame, what do we call those? We'll call them sabbaticals.
There you go. There you go. I said it yesterday. It's like it's obligatory. If you play at Notre Dame, you have to miss 4 games. He went on the IR so we could get him out of the way. That's a good one. That's what 4. Yeah, it's number 4.
4.
All right. Mine's simple. Kenny Moore gets traded to the Dallas Cowboys. I think the Dallas Cowboys go get a top corner, not expensive, not overly pricey, because a lot of people don't know Kenny Moore, but Kenny Moore to the Dallas Cowboys. Replace Trayvon Diggs for the year. Kenny Moore's contract's up at the end of the year. You go home free with him. You just got to pay him for the rest of the season. And I don't see why you wouldn't. Sure up the secondary that has been pretty rough to watch, and give yourself a very good cornerback. And I think the Colts take the draft pick. They're not going to pay him next year, so take the draft pick. Should I do this trade? PPR team, 12-man, PPR 12-man, Jonathan Taylor and Luke Musgrave. Is Luke Musgrave alive? For Austin Eckler, I would be getting Eckler. I mean, is Luke Musgrave alive? I got to figure that out first, because that hit that he took yesterday.
A monster hit.
Because Kareem Jackson's been suspended for 4 games for that one. I just don't know if he's...
Yeah, apparently he has a history there, right?
Yeah, that's his 3rd time. Musgrave's Gucci besides an ankle. Not even his head, an ankle.
Oh, okay.
That's tough. Luke Musgrave is getting more involved in the offense, which I love, but at the same time, it's Jordan Love, so I don't like it. Even as a Packers fan, I hate it now. This is hard. Toughness of schedule. I already know the Chargers is not that great. We already had our bye, so why am I looking at us? I'm trying to look at Jonathan Taylor. Because Jonathan Taylor's really getting back involved in this offense, so I'm...
Well, if you have Mark Andrews as your tight end, then you don't need Musgrave. So,
yeah, you need him for the Week 13 bye. That's it. The Colts get the Saints next, then the Panthers, then the Patriots, then a bye, then the Bucks, then the Titans, then the Browns, and the Steelers, and the Falcons.
Those are some good run defense.
Oh, man. I don't want to say do it, but I'm going to say I would do it. Austin Eckler in a PPR league is like a cheat code.
Yeah, I would do it. I'm taking that trade.
I mean, this week alone, you're going to get a hell of a value. They play the Bears. Okay, so you're 3-4. Yeah, I mean, so if you're 3-4, it's what my philosophy is in fantasy football. It's time to shake things up this far into the season. If you have a losing record and you need to move forward, like it's just time to like change things up a little bit and try and change the dynamic of how your lineup works. So I would say take it. Austin Eckler in a PPR league is.
Yeah, it's pretty broken formula.
Well, remember, he missed all those weeks. This week was kind of a rough showing, yes, but they were playing down the entire game, which doesn't help. I remember what he did week 1 was stupid, and they play the Bears this week. So I think he's going to have a crazy good game. And then they play the Lions and stuff. The Lions are not defensively phenomenal. We just saw the Ravens exploit them. I just think Eckler is more trusting than Jonathan Taylor, because Jonathan Taylor still has Zach Moss to worry about. And Jonathan Taylor also still has Gardner Minshew as his quarterback. So there's going to be some games where Gardner Minshew is going to go out and throw 2 picks in the first quarter, and they're going to be trailing too much to even use JT.
So Saquon, JT, Kyron, Devontae.
That helps.
Mark Andrews, T. Higgins, Christian Watson, Deontay Johnson. Yeah. Yeah, and if you can go out and get Eckler.
What are we losing? Jonathan Taylor? Yeah.
Yeah, I'd make that trade then. 100%.
Yeah, I would make the trade. Yeah, no, I understand. I'm not doing great in one league, and I've got a hell of a roster, and I don't know. I traded Christian Watson for Kyron Williams, and then Kyron Williams got hurt, and I was like, oh, okay. But, I mean, yeah, I've got Kenneth Walker, Nakua, Kelsey, DJ Moore, and Zay Flowers, and I'm still 2-5. So I don't know. Underperformances have been a real problem. Trade Waddle and Javonte. Eckler over JT rest of the season. Yeah, I think so. Looking at the schedule, I would say so. JT has a real rough end of the season.
Yeah. And again, he's still battling.
Yeah, he's still got Zach Moss taking a fair amount of time.
Trade Waddle and Javonte Williams for James Cook and Flowers. I mean, God, I would think Cook right now is better than
He's
Javonte.
Been going off.
But you're giving up Waddle and getting Flowers. Actually, I feel like is going to see more, as to where Waddle might see less. I'm probably taking that trade. I like James Cook in the Buffalo offense.
I traded him this week.
And the Flowers, I feel like Flowers is only going to get better. Javonte is really going to be boomer bust in that Broncos offense. And Waddle kind of is too with Miami because he's just the number 2, and Tyreek. If Tyreek's going off, he's going to get the lion's share of the looks. So you're trading essentially a two wide receiver and a 1 running back on a bad team to a 1 running back on a good team, and what I would say is probably quickly becoming the number 1 option in Baltimore.
All right. So, Stephen Joe, I'm going to be honest with you. All right. So I'm letting Dot do a lot of this answering for one simple reason.
You're so biased with Flowers.
I said it at the beginning of the season. Zay Flowers is my favorite rookie in the NFL. He's already one of my top favorite receivers in the NFL. I have him in literally every single one of my leagues. So I'm biased because I would tell you to take that deal in a heartbeat because James Cook has been out playing Javonte Williams minus this week. But Javonte Williams isn't going to get the Green Bay Packers every week. James Cook's been out playing him, and I think Flowers is more consistent than Waddle. Waddle will have the games where he's going to put up 20 points. Flowers probably won't do that this season. He'll probably have those games where he goes between 15 and 10, but I believe that's his average is somewhere between 15 and 10. You're going to have Waddle games where he's going to have 3 catches for 25 yards because Tyreek Hill's getting all the carries, and then A-Chain's back, and Mostert's going off. Like when Mostert's back playing with A-Chain next to him, Waddle's the 4th option.
Right.
So I personally just think that the James Cook and Flowers deal is better. And the reason you're probably nervous is because moving someone like Jonathan Taylor sounds crazy, but getting someone – hi, Dad. Welcome to Salt Lake. Getting someone like – Eckler is questionable because of the injuries this year and then what he just did against the Chiefs. You would have thought maybe against the Chiefs we'd see Eckler back to his normal form. I think he's just getting back the rust off after missing 4 weeks. I think we're fine. I think Eckler will be perfectly fine moving forward. Jonathan Taylor, I love. I'm a Wisconsin Badgers guy through and through, a big-time Badgers fan. Jonathan Taylor is a Badger legend. I just don't like that Zach Moss emerged right before he came back, and now he's getting a chunk of the time. And Gardner Minshew doesn't seem to throw to the running back very much, so I don't think you're going to get a lot of use out of him as in a PPR league. Eckler, minus this week, because he was facing someone like Nick Bolton, minus this week, I think you're going to see Eckler all over the field, back in the pass game, back in the run game. I think he's just too big of an upgrade. And Luke Musgrave, you're losing literally nothing. You have Mark Andrews. You're losing nothing.
No, you're okay there.
Hell, if you can get Dalton Kincaid, he's in a lot of leagues. He's a free agent right now. Get him. They've actually figured him out and got him back in the offense over Dawson Knox. So get him. We were done Sunday Night Football, right? Yeah. Oh, we were talking about all right, we have our 5th trade left. That's all we have left.
I think the big one that could be coming is Derrick Henry.
You're going to say to the Bucks, aren't you?
I think the Bucks. I think there's a strong possibility that if he is made available, somebody like Dallas might try and snatch him up.
Interesting. Dallas is interesting, not the Bucks. I actually think that's very, very good.
Only because he's only owed $6.2 million for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
That's insane for Derrick Henry, right? Like,
yeah.
And if Dallas wants to go back to getting like the 1-2 punch they had at running back, especially with McCarthy as the coach, could you imagine a backfield with Tony Pollard and Derrick Henry?
So the problem is, you said, can I imagine? I'm going to tell you straight up, I don't want to imagine because I don't want to hear Skip Bayless and Michael Irvin. But no, it would be broken. They would just run everyone over.
I mean, you're looking at who you have to play, and you would just kind of play smash mouth football. Like, okay, if you want to play up, we'll play speed with Pollard, and if you want to play physical, we'll send Derrick Henry. Like, I think Dallas, when they had Zeke and Pollard, and Zeke was the one, which I'm not saying Henry would be the one, but they'd probably use him like that in Dallas. That could be a scary proposition and opened up some things for Dak so Dak can actually perform the way they want him to for the price they're paying.
I like it a lot. I'm not going to lie to you. I like it a lot.
So that was, I think there's a couple other teams that could use a running back, especially like if he becomes available. That would definitely look into that because, again, he doesn't cost as much as you think. So I think that could be a big splashy one if it does happen.
Oh, we appreciate that so much. Like I said, we're growing. We're trying to grow more and more. We love all sports. For those who don't know us, we are both big time sports guys. I worked in the sports industry for a little while. Decided to, when my health got really poor, I had to step out of it because it was too grueling. But we love sports. We're passionate about it. We love to help anyone in fantasy football. We might not always be right. In fantasy football, we're right more than we are in our picks. But we love to just be here and talk sports with anybody. Fantasy football is huge. All sports are huge. So we love it.
Henry was just shy of 100.
Appreciate the subs, guys.
Against the Ravens.
Which is impressive considering.
Yeah. Considering what I think the Ravens actually are. Yeah, he had 12 attempts for 97 yards and a touchdown.
That's a good game for Derrick Henry. I'm not saying Derrick Henry can't do that, obviously, because he's insane.
He can basically do that against any team, and it's amazing that he's only made $42 million in his career.
Hey, who's this Powell guy that's replacing Addison? I don't know. I don't know.
I can see.
I'm pulling it up now too. I don't know. His long was 63, so he was 11 for 34 after that, which is still 3 yards a carry. Not great, but I mean, against the Ravens defense, I'll take it.
Yeah, he still had the 63-yarder against the Ravens, right? Like,
yeah, I'll take that all day. All right, so our 5th, you just did your 5th, which I actually think is very accurate. My 5th is going to be 2 different potential teams, or one team getting 2 different potential trades. I think the Ravens are going to buy. And I think they know their 2 biggest weaknesses right now are running back and end. I said one of my projections may be Aaron Jones to the Ravens, but realistically, what we could see for Baltimore is someone you said earlier. I actually think could go to the Baltimore Ravens, but I think your other one is really good too. But I think the Ravens could trade for Brian Burns.
I think that was another spot where they could use a guy like him.
Because the Ravens getting Brian Burns would be terrifying with Roquan Smith and Patrick Queen behind him and Kyle Hamilton behind that. That would be absolutely terrifying. Because so to me, it would be like the old Ravens off defense. That's what my mind went straight to it. It was like thinking of Peter Boulware and Ray Lewis, Roquan Smith and Patrick Queen, with Ed Reed behind it and Kyle Hamilton. and then Terrell Suggs in front of it with Brian Burns. Like, that's where my brain went when I thought of it. And I was like, that just freaking fits the Baltimore Ravens. Okay, so should you be worried about the Eckler ankle injury? So I would have said yes, but he played the entire game through it. I'll check his status for this coming week, see if it's long-term. Give me a second. Austin Eckler suffered a minor ankle injury, but is already considered to be a good to go for next week. So I believe it was very minor, at least according to this. So I think you'll be fine. I wouldn't be too worried. No, I did not say the Ravens need a receiver. Odell's doing enough. Zay Flowers is doing enough. Mark Andrews is enough. I would love to see like someone like Rashad Bateman get replaced in the lineup, but they're not going to go trade for a receiver. They just don't need to. Nelson Aguilar slips in the red zone, and he does well in the red zone. So, no, they're fine at receiver. The other thing I think we could see the Ravens do, because I did say Aaron Jones, is Cordell Patterson. I think the Falcons know they're close. They need some offensive line help. They don't need Cordero Patterson. They have Tyler Algier and Bijan Robinson. Could you imagine a gadget guy? Yeah, but that's the first game he's looked good since he got to the Ravens 3 years ago.
That's true.
I know he was injured all year last year again, but he was injured his rookie season, and then he had drops this season. He's one of the picks was because he literally – Lamar threw it over his head, and he went to go for it and was like, it's probably going over my head out of bounds. Didn't realize the corner was standing behind him, who goes, oh, thank you, and just took it because he didn't even try for the ball. Like, right. Bateman isn't it. He's just not it. But he fits the system well enough to be the 3. I mean, he's the 3. You got Odell and you got Zay Flowers. So being a 3 is not every team has a 3 that they can rely on every now and then. Let Bateman be that. They don't need to trade for a receiver. But if they get Cordero Patterson, imagine a gadget guy in the offense with Zay Flowers, Lamar Jackson. I just don't know how you would stop it.
No, I don't think they're looking incredibly long term right now. I mean, this is right now. I'd say they're probably one of the 4 teams that could win the Super Bowl, in my opinion. So
Odell's not long term, correct? Yes, like Dot said, they're looking to the Super Bowl this season. Not Zay Flowers. Bateman's not long term either. He's got next year left on his contract. They didn't extend it. They didn't take the 5th-year option.
Your long term guys are going to be Lamar, Mark Andrews, and defensive guys.
And they'll get Zay Flowers signed. Lamar is obsessed with him.
Yeah,
and Lamar's obsessed with him. So, but yeah, the Ravens don't goo long-term receivers. Can you name one long-term Baltimore Raven receiver? Their best receiver in the past 20 years was Derek Mason, and he didn't even come from the Ravens. He came from the Titans.
True.
And Steve Smith. There's the other great one. Again, a Carolina Panther legend who just came to Baltimore for the last 5 years of his career. They don't do long-term receivers. It's not how the system works there. They're defense, ground and pound. And it works. There's a reason they have 2 Super Bowls, and they've only been in the league since 98.
Yeah. So
it works. Their system works. But I'm just going with the playoff teams. I didn't look into all the other teams. There might be some minor little movements here and there. The deadline's Halloween, guys, so we're going to have deadline talk again next Monday when we come back on Monday, because probably trades are probably going to go down during the week.
There was already talks of McCole Hardman going certain places, and then he went right back to the Chiefs. So
they can't do long term with everybody because they don't have the money. Lamar just took all of it.
Yeah,
they just paid Roquan Smith
that kind of money.
They just paid Roquan Smith, Marlon Humphreys, and Lamar. And Mark Andrews. All of them are paid. They can't afford many other people. I don't even know how they're going to afford Kyle Hamilton. And if they let him go, that's the biggest mistake they've made in a long time, because he is right now playing as one of the best safeties in the NFL. He's all over the field. There's certain things in every team. Every single team doesn't have long-term players at certain positions. Look at the Chiefs. They don't have long-term receivers. They don't need it.
Yeah, and the other position that gets long-term deals on offense outside of the quarterback and one weapon is going to be probably your left tackle.
And Ronnie Stanley has a long-term deal. You're correct. You just nailed it. Ronnie Stanley has a good long-term deal. Most quarterbacks are right now, but they're also taking like Patrick Mahomes took his to be front-loaded. which is weird to me. I don't.
It kind of depends on where you think the team stands, right? Like the whole thing with Aaron Rodgers and giving back money and then deferring the rest of his contract over like a 7-year period.
Yeah.
But he's an established guy. He already had money, so he can do that type of shit. For like Lamar, Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, those guys who just signed their deals this year, they want the big money now. And they're going to get it.
And Lamar is really hard to work with. They admitted that. Everybody knew it. Him being his own agent, him and his mommy, he was hard to work with. And wow, Brock Purdy just threw a terrible interception in such a crucial moment.
Yeah. No, he's coming back down to earth, right? Like,
and Bynum's doing the worm into the end zone. Look, I'm not saying the Ravens can't do it. Receiver isn't the position they're going to extend. They're going to make sure they get Kyle Hamilton next, and then they're going to make sure they get, I don't know. They had talks of J.K. Dobbins before his injury for some reason, even though he's been injured. So they still want to look at him potentially. They still have Patrick Queen with a contract coming up. They're going to have to. They've said they're looking to extend him. They're working on a deal for him. There's just, even if he restructures, I think the money's just going to continue to go to the defense. It's just how they do it, and that it works. You don't need big name receivers. Like I said, look at the Chiefs. They don't do it with big name receivers. They do it with Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes. You guys have Lamar Jackson, Mark Andrews. It works.
Oh, you guys, they're going to be built the same for a very long time. They're going to pick up veteran receivers that are just past their prime, or they're going to get guys that are coming out of college. And then they're going to have a mix of that because they don't want the money of paying a top wide receiver while you have one of the top tight ends in the league and you're paying him top tight end money. You just aren't going to have enough money to go around if you don't do it that way. And you're seeing it with the Chiefs. That's why they unloaded Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, and if you look at around the league, I mean, the teams at the top receivers,
and
aren't winning
again,
Super Bowls.
Again, those teams during the year, they're gonna go get the guy that's available if they need him, and it's not gonna be his full contract. It'll be for half a year, and he might be a free agent at the end. So you give up a draft pick, but you if it's building towards a Super Bowl that year, you're seeing every year teams are doing this in order to secure a Super Bowl.
Yeah. Look at the Rams. They don't have a top tight end because they have a top receiver. It just works. You don't have both. You just can't have both.
Here's the crazy thing about the Rams. The Rams could trade off Cooper Kupp.
That had crossed my mind when I was doing these five, but it just sounded insane. I was like 2 firsts.
Puka Nacua, like, is he kind of? He's not there yet, but could he be?
Yeah, look, we have faith that we're right, but again, it's risky trading JT, and Eckler always has a little bit of risk. But I think when you look at it, I think the upside on Eckler the rest of the season is bigger than the upside on Jonathan Taylor the rest of the season.
Yeah,
especially when you look at schedule. Jonathan Taylor's schedule, it gets really hard.
Yeah.
And there might be a point where they're too far out of it. Like, they might lose a couple more games, be too far out of it, and rest JT. They already IR'd him for 4 weeks for no injury.
And all of a sudden, his mentality is magically repaired after what he went through in the offseason at the beginning of the season. Like, his best.
Zach Moss is on a 1-year deal, so if they're bouncing. If they're gonna be out of playoff contention and stuff, they might start running Zach Moss even more than JT to protect JT long term since they signed him to a deal.
Yeah, because RSA said he's not letting him go, so I'd believe that cocaine-filled man.
Well, they signed him to that 3-year deal, so he's there now. So, whatever. All right, guys, we love you all so much. It is 11 o'clock at night, so we are going to bounce. I don't know if I haven't even checked for a raid. It's 11, so unless one of your friends is on, I know I don't have anyone on. But no. I have your friends followed, so I will check.
No. None of that group is on.
We can do Hit.
Oh yeah, Hit is he's towards
Anytime. Oh, so sorry. I am so sorry, guys. Before we bounce, we have new people in here. Oh no. The best linebacker in the world is rolling around on the ground holding something in his leg, lower half. Oh no. And Kyle Shanahan might have just shit himself when you look at that face. He just watched Fred Warner and
Uh-oh.
Yeah. All right. So for the new people, we love all sports. We talked about that earlier. We are here every Sunday night or Sunday morning. I'm so sorry, not Sunday night. Sunday morning at 11:30 in the morning Eastern time to talk all pregame football. We make our picks for the week as well. Then we have to pick Sunday night football before we leave. Thursday night football before we leave. I just remembered that. And we give all fantasy questions, stardom, sit-em type questions, injury updates, everything before the games even happen. We get live an hour and a half beforehand to do all that. And then we're here every Monday night at 8 p.m. We are always open to opening another show. If people want to come in and chat with us more, it won't be a consistent show unless we get like a consistent flow on that other night. But we're always around. We have our Discord and our chat. You guys can join our Discord and chit chat with us. We'll answer questions pretty much within a couple hours. We both work, so we tend to miss a little bit during the day, but I always get back in and check as often as I can. We love everybody. We love to be a community. Our fantasy league is literally our viewers and us. Like we love everybody. So we love this. You guys are always welcome to come in and chat. You don't even have to ask fantasy questions. You can just talk football opinions and we'll talk with you. But real quick, Thursday night football this week. There are no bye weeks this week. Thursday night football, Buccaneers, Bills. I'm trying not to overthink what I just saw out of the Buffalo Bills, and I'm going to take the Bills bouncing back in Buffalo this Sunday.
Yeah. I think they're going to be good enough to definitely keep this offense at bay for Tampa Bay. So give me the Bills. I'm not sure right now. We'll see where the line settles. Right now it's 8.5.
Yeah, CBS has 9. I don't think they cover 9, but so I do think they win. All right, let me type in hit. I didn't even do that yet. But we love everybody, guys. You guys mean so much to us, and we appreciate it. X hit X. All right, so let's see. He's going to tackle Hawkinson.
It looked like he was grabbing his thigh.
He comes down to I think he just took a knee to the thigh.
Yeah, maybe like a stinger.
Yeah, one of them Charlie horses.
Yeah. Hopefully. Right. I mean, hopefully that's all it is.
He's standing on the sideline with his helmet in his hand, so it looks like he's like, all right, I'm ready. But for the Niners, that even if they lose this game, losing Fred Warner would be worse than losing this game. That guy is the best linebacker in this freaking sport. He's back in the game. He's just
an absolute missile.
He's already back on the field.
Oh, okay. That's good.
All right, so we're rating hit. We love you guys. We'll talk to you guys Sunday morning. Reminder: the following week, the first Sunday of November, I will be here at noon, not 11:30, because Dot will be at the Patriots game. So I will be flying solo for that Sunday game morning.
Oh yeah.
So I'm not going to try and do a whole hour and 15 minutes by myself because it gets a little rough. But I will be here from noon to 12:45 to answer all fantasy questions. So have a good night, guys. We'll see you guys this Sunday at 11:30, though. Have a great week.
Have a good night.
I believe, sir,